Hey guys, Jammin here, and we're back in the Phantom Zone, and we're talking about the Batman. So we're gonna go through this. It's gonna be open forum, so I'll send a link out in a little bit, and we're just gonna talk about our reactions. This is spoiler talk. There's gonna be spoilers for sure. Maybe I should put a banner up. I put spoiler talk in the thing, and it says spoiler talk. So, I mean, I don't know what else what I can do here. Maybe I'll put the banner. Hold on. Let me edit the banner here. Edit. We're gonna say Batman or the Batman spoiler talk. There. Okay, I can't make it any clearer than that. Arkham Gaming. Oh yeah, I'll send you the link, buddy. I'll send it to you on Twitter. One second. Where are you, Arkham? Arkham. Okay, dude, I sent it to you. All right. So let's we're gonna do this the space way, which is my way, which is the way it goes. So to do that, we need some other people to join us. So let's get in our first panelist. Hey, Steve.
Hey, Jammin.
All right, so we've got Greymalkin is backstage. He's gonna come on in a second, and we're gonna get Arkham as well, and we're gonna do the space way, which is we're gonna talk about the story, the pace, and the artistry. And so it's gonna be controlled, but everyone's gonna have their say. So let's bring in Greymalkin. What's going on, dude?
Glad to be here, fellas.
Yes.
Batman.
Yeah.
Batman.
Batman.
The Bat. Is it the Batman? Is it remember in Batman Returns? Is it Batman? Is it the Batman or is it just Batman? It's like your choice, of course.
Right.
Michelle Pfeiffer is still awesome.
The GOAT.
Yeah.
Julie Newmar is awesome too, though. So
She is.
Okay, so Arkham is also backstage. So let's just bring Arkham in right now. Hey, Arkham, how's it going, dude?
Good. Love the movie.
Yeah, I'm shocked.
It's masterpiece.
It's masterpiece.
No. For me, it's a masterpiece. The Dark Knight. Christopher Nolan.
All right, hold on a second.
Go be in the corner now.
Okay.
There's masterpiece, and then there's this movie, and it's not. I don't think it's quite.
For me, it was a masterpiece.
We're gonna see if the numbers. We're gonna see if the numbers bear you out, though, because we're doing the space way, which is the J-Man way.
What?
My way, space, which is story, pacing, artistry, characters, and enjoyment. We're gonna figure out. We're gonna figure it out if it is a masterpiece. Okay, but before that, I'm gonna say a couple of things. Now, I did do a video on this already where I gave my ranking. However, I'm very open on this movie. This isn't the same as some other movies that I've watched where I wrote down hey Double C, what's going on? I wrote down 4 things that always piss me off in superhero movies that this movie did not do.
Oh, that's okay.
Good. So this movie did not do the things that piss me off in other superhero movies specifically. So these 4, and this is actually very important to me. I know it's kind of jokey, but like it's actually important to me, and it actually pisses me off in every movies, which including Spider-Man, whatever this third one's called, like and whatever. I don't know the names anymore. No Way Home, right? Is it No Way Home?
Spider-Man
yes,
7.
Spider-Man 7, sure. Spider-Man 7 did this too. So number 1 is not Spider-Man 7 didn't do this particular thing, but showing the origin. Hey, Marc, what's going on, dude? Oh, did you go? So you won a second time, buddy. Let's see. And you didn't fall asleep. Nice. Oh, that's great. Sean, how's it going, dude? Double C, how's it going? All right.
I watched it 4 times.
Arkham, you need help.
You could pirate it now, and you'll be
fine. No. They can have my money anyway.
Oh my God. Okay. So the 4 things that piss me off in superhero movies that this movie did not do. Hey, Josh. Okay, number one is origin, showing the origin again. That always pisses me off. It's like I don't need to see the origin in every movie 100 times over. This movie did not show that, so that's a big thumbs up. That always irritates me.
I liked how they did it.
Yeah. Number two, the superhero versus the alter ego. So that's the ratio. So that's to say that he's Peter Parker more often than he is Spider-Man, right? This movie, I would say, and I'll get everyone's opinion in a minute, if you had to do a percentage, what do you think the percentage ratio is? I think he's Bruce. I think he's like Bruce Wayne for like 10% of the movie. I think he's Batman almost the whole movie.
Yeah,
I only remember two scenes. What do you tell me? What do you think, Arkham? What do you think the percentage is? Like, I would say he's 90% Batman, or maybe 80% Batman. What do you think?
I would say like most of the time. I would say 80%.
80%,
and 90% Batman. I would say Bruce Wayne. I guess like 10 or 15%.
Yeah. Okay. Gray, what do you think what do you think for percent? I mean, to me, it seemed like he was always Batman. I only remember two Bruce Wayne parts.
Well, I kind of thought like because Bruce Wayne, he's always kind of in Batman mode. He was in Batman mode 100% of the time.
Well, I mean, in the costume, walking.
Oh yeah, right.
Come on, you know what I'm asking.
I was trying to be clever.
Yeah, don't be clever. Not yet. You can be clever in a minute.
11%. He was Batman. He was Bruce Wayne 11% of the time.
He was. I know. Yeah, it seemed like okay. So, Steve, what do you think? What would you say for the percentage of Batman to Bruce?
90-10.
Yeah, I mean, he was Batman the whole movie. So, no origin, big thumbs up. Batman almost the entire movie, big thumb, and for 3 hours, that's pretty good. So, big thumbs up. Now, this is specific to Batman. I always want. Oh no, sorry. There's one thing that's not specific to Batman, which is keeping the mask on, keeping the identity secret. I love Spider-Man too, but his mask is off every 5 minutes, and that
yeah,
I cannot stand it.
Yeah,
Batman never revealed himself, and I was scared at that part where he's talking to Catwoman. I thought, oh god, and she just had to throw in the privilege line, which kind of made me gag a bit, but she had to throw that line in there, and then I thought he was going to remove his mask and be like, no, I'm Bruce Wayne. It's like I thought, oh god, here we go, but he didn't do it. I was like, woo, he did. He kept the mask on, and no one knows his identity. Well, I guess Riddler kind of knows it, but
Riddler would figure it out. He would have
Riddler, yeah. He didn't remove it. I don't care. It's different if someone figures it out, because Riddler figured it out in Batman Forever as well. I don't like when someone removes their mask and it's like, look, here's who I am. I hate that.
Yeah, like
so that movie, like Batman Returns is my personal favorite. I'm not saying it's the best Batman movie, but I'm saying it's my personal favorite Batman movie, but I can't stand that either. But she knew it was Batman at that point anyways, but still, I don't like it. Okay, so that's the three things. And the fourth thing is that this movie was actually a detective story, which is what everybody has wanted from the beginning.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, those are the four super positives that you cannot take away from this movie that piss me off in other movies. Okay. One thing that I'm very open on this discussion. This is going to be very open in the sense that I'm very malleable because of those four things, and because I like Batman the character. And whenever I think about superhero movies, I always think about the heroes first, then the villains, then the story. I know we're going to do my space thing, which is that's my professional movie critic, right? Steve and I have been taking courses we took courses in university where we're film critics, right? So my film critic persona is going to give you the proper review. But when I think about it in my heart, I always look at the hero, then the villain, then the story, which is why I like movies that people think are crappy, right? People think, oh, this movie's crappy, but I like it because the hero was cool. It's like Gal Gadot. I like her as Wonder Woman. I don't care if the rest of the movie's crappy. I like her as Wonder Woman. So it makes me want to watch more. So this movie, I liked Batman. I liked Gordon. I thought Catwoman was pretty cool. But Gordon and Batman were like, yeah, these guys are great. But the villains, and you're not changing my mind tonight. Riddler was the most garbage villain of all time. I literally laughed my ass off at the end when he's like, I'm like, what is happening? And he did it for the orphans. I can't take it. It's so awful. Nobody's going to convince me that Riddler was absolute garbage. I don't care. There's no convincing me. The rest of the movie we can talk about. Penguin was okay. It's not really Penguin, but he's there. Falcone was 10 out of 10. John Turturro was
I was gonna say it's John Turturro. He doesn't do bad movies.
Except for Transformers. Except for Transformers.
That was a check. Okay, you know that, Jay, man. He needed it. He needed
a check. Listen, I know. John Turturro. That was the best Falcone we had, I think. Okay. There. That's my piece. That's my spiel. Let's just look at the comments for a second, and then we're going to get to our. We're going to go through the story, the pace. We're going to go through all of it. All right. So let's see where we're at here. So Double C, yes, I said hey to you, Mark. Okay, Sean, Josh, 8 out of 10, 8 out of 10. Okay, so Josh is giving it high praise. Wow. Bag of Candy helped to stay. So I was on Clobberin Times channel with Mark and Sean. Sean's not coming on tonight. He's not feeling well. Oh. But we did a great 2-hour plus stream where we really broke down everything. And that the link to Clobberin Times channel is in the description. Soundtrack was like 10 out of 10. That's the other thing. But as we did a good actor, you think he played Two-Face? Okay, yeah. So we're gonna talk about that. Sean, Josh, I liked it. Andrew, good. Not your favorite. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you on that one. Batman 89, Batman Begins are better. I'm gonna say yes to that. I believe yes. I think that too. I think they're both better. I think Batman Returns is better. I know, Mark. I know. I'm with you. J-Man wanted to be campy, did fun. J-Man wanted the movie to be campy and fun. That's why he trashed it. Marcus, how did you read my mind? No, I didn't say I wanted to be campy and fun. Like Marcus is the one who just lies and just says random shit. My review of Batman was super accurate and very, very, and I'm sure some of you guys saw it. I was very, very normal. I was not being weird on that. I said it very straightforward. Yeah. The new costume, and also, like, I got the figure. So like, and I bought the soundtrack. So don't tell me what my business is. Okay.
You don't tell.
Also, the costume was great originally. Okay, yeah, cool. Arkham, are you streaming? Are you playing games tonight?
No. It's not until 7:45. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I'm gonna be doing my spoiler discussion like at 7:45.
Oh, okay. So yeah. All right. So let's go through this. So we're going to do it, the story, the pacing, the artistry, the characters, and the enjoyment. And we're going to go through each of those ones. And we've got Steve, we've got Gray, and we've got Arkham. So I'll just get your guys' scores. Okay, so let's start with Arkham. So Arkham, do you know how my thing works or no? This thing I do? Okay, so we grade every category out of 2. So 0 means it's garbage, 1 means it's okay, 2 means it's really good. And at the end of this, you'll get a score out of 10. So you're giving a 0, a 1, or a 2. I'll let you go last on this one, just so you understand how it works.
Okay.
Now, that means that if this movie gets a 1 in every category, it gets a 5 out of 10. But 5 out of 10 doesn't mean it's a bad movie. 5 out of 10 means it's an average movie, just nothing super special. Okay. Steve, I know where you're at, buddy. Okay, Steve, what story? 0, 1, or 2?
I'm going to kick it to Greymalkin to go first.
Greymalkin, go first.
I think there's like a lot of quotables in this movie. I thought like a lot of quotables. Who are you under that mask? Vengeance.
Right.
No, but I thought this movie was okay.
So hold on. 0, 1, or 2.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm giving the movie altogether.
You can give it 0.5s. Like so you're just giving the story. Okay, so the story, you're just thinking about the storyline. The storyline, if it's bad, it's 0. If it's average storyline, it's a 1. If it's a really good storyline, it's a 2. Or you can give 0.5s. Like you can give 1.5.
Okay.
Right?
I'll give this movie like a 6.5 when it comes, because that whole thing with
no.
I'm so confused.
A 1, you give it a 1. 1.5.
It's out of 2.
It's out of 2. 2 is the best you can get. 2 is the storyline.
1.5.
1.5. Yes.
Thank you. Like, I'm so confused. Like,
Arkham. Okay, Arkham.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm just gonna explain it. Okay, Arkham. There's the storyline. We're gonna look at the story, the pacing of the movie, the artistry of the movie, the characters in the movie, and then at the end, you're gonna give an enjoyment factor. Each of these is ranked out of 2. So it's very easy. If you thought I made it easy. 0 means you thought the story was garbage. 1 means you thought the story was good. 2 means you thought the story was really good. Then we go to pacing and it's 0, 1, or 2. So 2 is the best score you could get. So if you give a 2, so for you, Arkham, every category gets a 2, and at the end you get a 10 out of 10 movie. All right. So that's how it goes. So Greymalkin, you're saying the story is 1.5 out of 2, which means it's better than average, but not amazing.
Right. It was
okay. Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. So then we're going to talk about why we're giving the scores.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
All right. Arkham, are you giving the story? Are you saying it's a perfect storyline? No problems?
I didn't see, like, when I watched it at least 3 times.
So you're saying it's a 2. There's no problems with it.
Yeah, like when I watched it, like I'm not just rating it the 2 because I like Batman. It's like I want a good story. And when I watched it, I didn't really see any problems from my eyes. Like
yeah, okay, so that sounds fine. Yeah, okay. Steve,
0.5.
Yeah, 0.5, and Arkham gave it a 2. Okay, so I'm giving it a 1. I'm giving it a 1. So, why are we? I'll tell you where I'm at. This movie is it's long and there's a lot of things going on, but a lot of the things that go on don't mean anything. So, for example, we have to figure out who the rat is, but it doesn't matter. Like Riddler's killing everybody anyways. So what does it matter? Like once they discover who the rat is, what did that mean? Like it's Falcone. Okay. Okay, but he got shot anyways. It's like, okay. So what was that? And like Riddler is killing people because he was an orphan and they took the money away. And I'm thinking, is that it? Like there is no story. They're just investigating nothing. The stuff I liked was the Batman stuff, where it was like, he learns to be something different than vengeance. He starts out being vengeance, and by the end he starts to say, no, I have to be something better than vengeance. But that ending about him learning about how to be something more than just vengeance, that has nothing to do with the mystery of solving anything, because Riddler wins. Riddler won in the end of that movie. He everyone that he wanted to nail, he pretty much nailed, except for Bruce or whatever. And there's things where like he tried to blow up Bruce and he blew up Alfred. But in the next scene, he has a video that he shows Bruce Wayne. Well, how did he know that Bruce Wayne survived that bomb? He knew that he was going to survive the bomb to have a video for him. It's just weird. The story of Batman is fine, but the investigation is weird to me. So that's where I'm at. There's a lot of good parts in the story, but there's some stuff that doesn't mean it. Like there's a car chase to capture the Penguin, and so many people get killed in that car chase. It's like destroying the entire highway. And at the end, they capture the Penguin. It's like, you're the rat, Penguin. We got you. He's like, no, I'm not. Oh, okay, you're not. Oh, okay. So what am I watching? Like, what is why even have that? And then the other thing that's funny to me, too, the other thing that's funny is when Alfred gets blown up and he's in the hospital and Bruce Wayne is there and Riddler shows him that tape that Thomas Wayne is bad. I hate this idea that they make Thomas Wayne bad, but Thomas Wayne is bad. And then in the next scene, he watches a video. Then he goes to talk to Falcone. He's like, Thomas Wayne is bad. Is that true? Yes, Thomas Wayne is bad. Oh, shit. Then he goes to Alfred. Alfred just got blown up. He's like this. Hello, Bruce, is that you? And Bruce Wayne, shouldn't Bruce Wayne be like, Alfred, thank God you're okay. Thank God you survived. You took a hit for me, buddy. Thanks, brother. No, instead he's like, hey, why didn't you tell me that my dad was a bad guy? Oh, your dad's not a bad guy. Oh, okay. What is going on? That was like half an hour of the movie that you didn't even need. Just don't even have that part in it. It just makes no sense. Hey, Raquel, how's it going? Hey, Keely. Okay, so that's where I'm at. So Gray, where are you at?
The whole thing with making Bruce Wayne's father be the bad guy is just like that's such a new thing, because like
I know
it reminds me of the Telltale game, and
they did in Telltale.
Yeah, and it's like, what about his mom? Was his mom just as bad? Because
right,
like it seems like anytime where they want to show the origin of something, they always make the male mentor or male paternal figure a horrible person, which is like that's sexist. it's a little. I found it a little sexist. It's a trope that I really don't care for.
Yeah, so that's sort of why. So that was sort of the tick that you gave it to bring it down a little bit.
It just a bunch of stuff like, like you said, the Alfred thing. He could have said like, Alfred, like he could have like, hey, are you okay? Or you like talk to like a person, and then say like, hey, what was my like? I heard some things about my dad. Could you explain it to me? Break it down.
Gray, exactly the way you just did it would have been perfect. It's like, are you okay, Alfred? And it's like, listen, Alfred, I've got something important to ask you. I'm sorry, but I've heard that my dad was really shady and did some deals. Is this true? Like, why is he confronting Alfred, who's been there from the beginning with him? They've been tight. They've been buddies. He's helped him out as Batman. He believes Falcone and the Riddler immediately and confronts Alfred. Who would do that? That doesn't make any sense. Would Batman be that dumb and just the Riddler, who I don't know who it is, some psychotic idiot, told me my dad was a bad guy and Falcone confirmed it. Yeah, because Falcone is really someone who's trustworthy and good. It's like, and then he confronts Alfred while the guy's blown up. It's bad. That was a bad. You should have removed. That was like 20 minutes of screen time. They should have removed that entire storyline. For the whole Thomas Wayne should have been removed. And then that would have shortened the movie. And then because that actually did piss me off. Like, Thomas Wayne is not a bad guy. Why are you making it like Thomas Wayne was a bad guy and hiring thugs to beat up someone because his wife had mental issues? Is that even a thing? His wife could have went on Geraldo and it would have been fine.
No, like, and also she's rich. She could have got, yeah.
Like, yeah, just pay. Yeah, okay. So Arkham. So are you're thinking everything's like perfect? Like, there was no problem. You had no problems with the story, or do you have some problems now that I pointed some out?
The problems to me, like, I didn't have, like, when I watched the movie, I watched it a lot of times. Like,
yep. I'm trying to find something for that.
I'm thinking we needed more scenes than walking slowly, to be honest.
So wrong.
I really like learning about like Catwoman, Catwoman father and everything like that, and what happened to the history. It reminds me of the comic books. People are gonna hate me. I didn't mind that scene when she was confronting Batman. It kind of made sense because, like, if you think about it, Catwoman was in the area. I think it's Alleytown and stuff like that. I think that's correct. She wasn't like, her mother drank herself to death, and now her father's dead and everything like that. It's like she.
But why would she say it to Batman? Like, it's like why is she saying it to Batman?
Because he wanted to find out who Falcone was, and she like told him and stuff.
No, but she's like saying, "Oh, it's like all these privileged people are killing us and all that." It's like, but Thomas Wayne wasn't. I don't like the idea. I don't matter if she's saying it, but the movie is presenting Thomas Wayne as bad, and I don't like that, because Thomas Wayne, it was the one good thing in Gotham. And they shouldn't tarnish his name, because Batman is doing everything in his name. So that by default, you're making Batman seem like he's doing things in the name of a guy who was corrupt and bad. And that is not Batman to me.
That's America.
I understand that. What?
That's America.
But like, saying that's America.
I'm not like, to me, I really like the story that I've always wanted, a Batman that never kills. Like, you have pre-Penguin, like, I really liked Colin Farrell as Penguin. I'm excited for the series, how he becomes Penguin. Like, I thought, like, before seeing this movie, I thought seeing this movie, that there wasn't gonna be Iceberg Lounge or anything like that.
Yep.
But that really surprised me, that certain things are already established and everything like that. So, like, do we give a rating or something like that?
No. So you gave it. You're saying you're giving it a 2 out of 2, right? For the story.
So Batman. Oh, sorry for jumping in. But Batman, and it's clear from when we start the movie, he's been around for a couple of years. So
two years, not couple years. 2 years.
Yeah. Two is a couple.
Mm-hmm.
1, 2.
Yeah.
couple.
Three's a crowd.
Yeah, right. Hey, no, so like, it's nice to see that. Oh, I'm sorry for jumping on.
It's fine. Like you can speak.
And it's just I Colin Farrell. Like everybody's like, oh my god, how can Colin Farrell look like that? He's an actor. That's his job.
It's prosthetics and everything like that. It's like people don't understand why it works. Like,
But hey, shouldn't they have cast a fat person? Is this fat shaming because they didn't cast a fat person? That's the thing. That's the thing. Now they should have cast a fat person.
Yeah. Let's get Philip Seymour Hoffman. Oh wait,
yeah, people wanted that. Yeah, people wanted that when way back in the day. They really wanted that. Okay, so Steve, so I'm in the middle. Steve, you beat the shit out of the story. Why did you beat the shit out of the story?
Well, let me talk about.
First of all, he's rolling his sleeves up, which is making me laugh already.
Let's talk about why I even gave it 0.5. I gave it 0.5 a lot of reasons that Jammin, you mentioned. He is Batman all the time. He is finally a detective.
Yep.
All this stuff. I agree with you 100%. I originally was going to give story a 0. You've convinced me to go to 0.5. So kudos to you.
It just for people who join, like, look, there's no origin story. He's in the mask the whole time. He doesn't really reveal his identity, and he's Batman almost the whole movie. I would say 90%. Yep. So you can't look, because when movies do this, and the guy takes his mask off, I'm like, this is bullshit. So when a movie doesn't do it, we have to give its credit. It deserves that credit. Matt Reeves, that was a good decision. All right, continue.
Okay. All the reasons you gave against it, I agree with.
Yep.
Against that story. Inevitably, it's because there's absolutely no reason for anything that takes place between the beginning scene and the end scene.
Yeah.
There is literally, I remember Sean was sitting next to me, and you know the story already. I turned to him and I said, I don't understand what's going on. And he didn't have a response to me other than, don't worry, you have 90 more minutes to go through.
Oh.
That's literally all he said to me. And I died a little inside when he said that.
Right.
This was a movie where Batman stared a lot. He stared a lot at crime scenes. He stared a lot at the floor. He stared a lot at his computer. He was very good at staring. If we need a Batman movie, you know the Batman who laughs? This is the Batman who stares. That's what he did. He stood in the dark, which is something J-Man actually, I'm stealing that. He stood in the dark for 3 hours. Right. He did.
In the dark, yeah.
That's all he did. He was literally like, and for some reason, Gordon needs to bring Batman on everything. Like, Jim Gordon can't do his job in this movie without Batman being there. Because every time I saw Jim Gordon, I saw Batman, and I'm like, is the GCPD just, they're there? Like, you know, Jim Gordon's already like, I have no use for any of you. I just want Batman here.
Yeah.
What is this saying? Like, I had no idea. Like, the entire movie was, let's find out who's got skeletons in their closet. Oh, this person does. Well, let's delve into that. Well, let's see who else has skeletons in their closet. Right. And occasionally, let's go back to the Iceberg Lounge. We went back to the Iceberg Lounge 4 times. I saw those twins, the guards, 4 separate times.
8 times.
In the movie Pure Luck, that turned into a joke with Danny Glover coming back, and they kept asking for password. Finally, he just punched the guy out after the 4th time because he kept going back.
Right.
This time, it wasn't a joke. I wasn't supposed to laugh. And I'm like, why are we going? What's Catwoman? Catwoman, her friend. I'm like, this movie was literally, the script was written with crayon by the 6-year-old who wrote it. That's it.
And then Riddler's a bad guy. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you really beat this up. Let's get into the pacing. Now, the pacing, I beat this up. However, I'm just gonna make it easy on my end. I'm giving everything. So originally I gave this movie a 4 out of 10. I'm giving it a 5 out of 10 right now. And it'll just make it easy, so I don't have to give you my 2 cents. I'll explain what I thought was good or bad, but I don't need to give a rating. My final rating is 5 out of 10, which means it's an average movie. However, it could go up or it could go down based on how we talk about it, and I'm going to see it again. I'll buy it, of course, on 4K as I buy everything. So I'm definitely going to get it. And then I don't know, Arkham? Did you see I did get the
That's awesome.
the figure.
I get the I think it's the Hot Toys one, like where it has the bat symbol. And
it's
like,
too expensive for me. I can't. This was like $30. That's like
$30? You can make that for cheaper.
Well, you guys, what are your Todd McFarlane prices in the States? What are your
Todd
McFarlane?
Arkham?
Usually like
20
to 30. But if you're getting Hot Toys like with Batman and stuff like that, I saw
like
one
$300
to $400.
So they're $400. Whenever someone who bought something wants it, always goes a little lower, but it's the higher number. Okay, so so the pacing. This is where this movie really failed, and it's a combination of story and pacing, because there's so many things that don't pay off in any way, shape, or form other than to just be there, and that's where the pacing killed it, because it starts off, you're like, okay, Batman's investigating. You're like, all right, that's cool. And I started to think, like, there better be some really crazy good reason as to why all this is going on, because it's taking very long to unravel this complicated mystery. And by the time you get to the end, it's like, well, Riddler was an orphan and he's upset that the money got stolen from the Wayne Foundation and got moved around and he didn't get any money. I'm like, that better not be it. It's like, and that's it. And I'm like, okay, that is not a mystery. Like, that would have been solved in 2 minutes on Criminal Minds. Like, right? That would have been a 45-minute Criminal Minds episode. There wasn't anything crazy or weird going on. It was the same thing in Batman Forever. I had the same problem with Riddler in Batman Forever. It's like the riddles led up to his name. I'm like, well, Batman should have been able to figure out his name in 2 seconds. Like, he just fired a guy who's crazy. You know what I mean? It's like it's like that should have been easy. Now, I understand this is year 2, blah, blah, blah. But the point of the movie is actually not to solve the riddles or to stop the Riddler, because the Riddler wins. He floods the place and so it's like he's causing all of this damage and he's destroying Gotham. But that's not the point. The point of it was to show Batman that he needs to be more than just vengeance and a detective. He needs to have hope. And that's why at the end, he's saving people. And they're like, wow, we believe in this Batman guy. That's the point of the movie. The point of the movie is not to really solve the crimes, because Riddler wins. So they didn't really solve them. They thought Penguin was the rat. He wasn't. They're wrong, right? They're wrong every time. Batman doesn't know what that carpet thing is.
He's learning how to be a detective.
Right, he's learning how to be a detective, but I don't want to see him learning. I want to see him as the Batman.
Yeah, I know, like, Batman, like, because this is year 2, he doesn't know to be how to be a detective. He's trying, because
he should be smart anyways, man.
So like,
he's supposed to have a really high IQ, right? Like, Bruce Wayne's always been known to have a really high IQ. He's like 10 points above astrophysicist. Like, I read that somewhere.
Astrophysicist.
Yeah,
I'm 11 above that.
Well, J-Man, you're not human. We all know this.
I am a cyborg.
No,
I'm going to do the Terminator 2 thing and reveal my
God.
arm.
No, because you defend Wonder Woman 1984.
I do defend Wonder Woman 1984. But I'm not critiquing Wonder Woman 1984.
Right.
I didn't critique that film. And I'm not critiquing, we are critiquing this movie. I just told you.
Yeah.
I like Batman. I bought the toys. I bought the soundtrack on my phone. I've been listening to it all day today. I read Long Halloween. I read the Last Night on Earth. Ask Steve. Prior to going to the movie, I was rereading all the stuff. I was like, I'm into Batman. I went in Toys R Us. I sat at Toys R Us this morning. As soon as they opened the doors, went right in and got the last Batman off the shelf. It's like So it's like I like Batman.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make it seem like just because you critique something doesn't mean you don't like it. That's what a lot of people don't understand nowadays.
People aren't understanding that. But I've got to give an honest evaluation, because if I don't, like, see, everyone says, oh, you love Wonder Woman 84. Well, I do, because Gal Gadot's awesome and she's Wonder Woman. I like watching her just do stuff and she's cool. Just like Pattinson. I like Pattinson doing stuff. But I have to critique this as a movie, because they're presenting this as a movie, and they're presenting this as this is a great Batman film that's going to change people, and this is the way Batman ought to be. And they never said that for Wonder Woman 84. They're just like, this is a fun, silly movie. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. But this Batman movie, people are really hyping this up. Like, this is a masterpiece. This is great. It's like, whoa. When someone starts to tell me masterpieces and this is the best Batman and the last 80 years of Batman, nobody got it right till Matt Reeves showed up and did the right thing. Like, that's where I start to think, well, hold on a second. We need to step back a minute here. Like, this ain't better than Mask of the Phantasm. That's for damn sure.
I think they're just they're counting live action. They're not counting
even in live action.
No. I'm sorry, jumping in again.
Yeah, go ahead.
Like, we get this every few years.
I know, it's tiresome.
When new Batman comes out, it's always, this one's the best one ever. They got everything right. Remember when Batman Begins first came out? They were saying this is the most realistic one. Right. This is the best one, and it's like, calm down. Give it a couple.
I wasn't like that. I hated
it. A lot of people
were Arkham. Okay. Yeah. So let's get the official scores then. So Steve, are you giving it a 0 for pacing?
Yeah.
I figured. Gray, so pacing, what do you think? 0 point. So I'll give you a 0.5. You can't do 0.2. I can't.
Okay, all right. I'm giving it a 0.
0? Okay, 0 for pacing. Wow. Okay, so Arkham, are you giving it 2 out of 2, which means you thought everything was perfect? You didn't think it was boring ever? It was always the whole movie was great.
I watched it 4 times, so like I never thought it was boring. I was
said 3 times.
No, 4 times.
4 times.
Sorry.
Sorry.
He said 4. He said 4, right? From the beginning.
Yeah, 4.
He said 4.
He said 4 times. Yeah.
So like,
how did you physically see it 4 times? It can't be possible because it's 3 hours.
It depends on a person. Like it just depends. Like to me, like when I was watching a movie, it had my whole divided attention. Like I don't know what with this movie is like. I was never bored. It was my favorite movie. Like I'm not saying it's you can determine if it's your favorite or not, but it's my favorite Batman live action.
Hey, Arkham, if you believe that, I have some timeshare in Utah.
No, don't buy timeshares.
Don't buy timeshares. We've been down that road.
We've been down that road before.
I'm sorry. I just
okay, like, so Gray and Steve, you guys really beat the crap out of. I mean, I've already explained my position. There's a lot of look. If this was the same movie, and
I have to go now. Like, but
okay, cool, man. What's your? So I guess you're giving it 10 out of 10, right?
Yeah, 10 out of 10. But I really love the movie. Like. It's fine that you guys don't like it. It's just like
I didn't say I didn't like it. I gave it 5 out of 10. That's average.
Oh, okay, that's good. I'll say.
This movie that came out 20 years ago, this would be 7 or Saw or.
But I am glad that I got the Batman I've always wanted.
But he didn't fight anybody. He didn't do any ninja stuff. He didn't do smoke bombs. He didn't dive and grab guys. Like what's going on?
Like I'm very critical with Batman and stuff like that. Like,
yeah, so that you should be critical on that. He didn't sneak. He knocked on the door of the Iceberg Lounge. Wouldn't he sneak from the roof?
The what?
He knocked on the door. Hi, can I see the Penguin? Wouldn't Batman sneak in from behind or sneak in from the roof and come down with his grappling hooks or something?
No,
he knocked on the door. Hi, Penguin.
Like he didn't have the insurance yet. He's like, okay, I can't really do this yet.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense, dude. There's some stuff that doesn't make sense. Anyways, all right, cool. If you gotta go, you gotta go.
This is my favorite Batman. Ben Affleck is number 2 now. Okay. Bye.
Ooh.
Wow, that's
Ben Affleck got thrown under the bus. So let me, since we touched upon this, he's year 2. Year 2 means he's still kind of figuring it out, right? But he shouldn't be the Batman until he's ready to go. Now, Steve, you were not on chat with us last night. Neither were you, Greymalkin. And let me, Steve, I think you went back and heard our thoughts. Yep. But let me propose this to you, Gray, because you didn't hear me talk about this. In the comics of Batman Year 1, when he's trying stuff out, he's failing, and the criminals aren't scared of him. And he starts to say, he's like, you know what? They're not scared of me. And then he's like, well, I got to come up with something. I got to be a scary creature or something. A symbol, right? And he's like, I've got to be a bat. So he's like, okay, I'm going to be a bat and whatever. And then he starts using smoke bombs and he does ninja techniques where he comes down and grabs guys. And so they're like, whoa, what's going on? Everyone is scared of him. Now, in this movie, in the beginning, they said they're very scared of Batman. When the symbol comes out, they're like, oh, Batman could be anywhere. But then those thugs are there, those Joker face guys. They're going to beat up that one fellow. And Batman walks in. Hey, Eric. Hey, thanks for coming in. He comes in. Yeah, the world's dumbest detective. I know. Batman comes in. He just walks up to them and beats them up. And I'm like, and then they laugh at him. They're like, who's this idiot? And then he beats them up and then they get scared. But my point is that he shouldn't be Batman until he's ready to be the full Batman. Because prior to that, he's still practicing. I think that's a big fail of this movie. I don't think they realized that they messed that up. I think they made a mistake and didn't realize it because they're like, well, it's year 2, so he's still figuring it out. No, you can't be the persona of Batman while figuring it out. You're figuring it out, and then once you figured it out, then you put the costume on and say, now I'm Batman. What are your thoughts? What do you think about that, Gray? What I said?
What you hit it right on the head because we saw this done better in Mask of the Phantasm. Like that one scene. Like, I'm sorry, I have to go back. But when he was fighting those guys, he wasn't even Batman yet. He was just a guy in a mask.
Yes.
Like, and I get, like, we saw this better. It could have been better, but you know,
I forgot they showed that in Mask of the Phantasm.
Yep. He was like, I need them to be scared of me immediately.
Right.
That was the problem. That was his issue. Like, I wanted to be immediately scared because scared people make mistakes.
Yes.
So yeah, that's
yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So Steve, I mean, we know why we gave it such low marks on the pacing, right? Because it's just too slow.
Well, I'll give you an example. So Andy Warhol was famous for putting on his camera and walking away. I feel like Matt Reeves did that at a point. Case in point, the first scene, I thought I heard Riddler breathing heavy while looking at that thing for at least a minute.
Oh,
that should have been cut.
It's
that
way
scene
longer.
at the end when they're in the graveyard and they're leaving on the motorcycles. Too damn long. Should have been cut.
That scene with Riddler,
trying to pace each other.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
That one scene with Riddler was in that diner and all of the Gotham PD were just right there, and he took like 18 minutes to like put his hands up.
Yeah,
that could have been cut.
Yeah, there are so many scenes, and part of this was letting the story get so bloated for no purpose. It goes hand in hand, right? I immediately thought a 3-hour Batman movie, you got to really have a great story to work that. And they didn't have a great story. And when you don't have a great story, that 3 hours is really, really draggy. It really brings it down.
Yeah. So, at what point in time did you start to realize that nothing was... I think after the car chase and when they captured Penguin and then he wasn't the rat, and I thought, it's almost checkout time. I'm like... You just spent 30 minutes, 40 minutes talking about the rat and who is this person and what is going on. And then there's a car chase and then they capture the Penguin. It's like, oh, he's not the rat. Then I started to think, why does it matter who the rat is?
I thought of that before then because it was almost like Riddler was like, so the character they called the Riddler in this because I was just calling the Riddler.
Yeah, right.
The character called the Riddler was basically like he was leaving these notes and they were going to validate what he was saying. It felt like they weren't really going to capture the Riddler. So immediately when I saw them, like it had no connection to the Riddler. I'm like, what's going on? Like, why aren't they trying to find the Riddler? Because what I thought they would do is within the first hour, they would catch him. And then it would be him playing mind games with Batman from Arkham to what he was setting in motion, which is we got that in the last 10, 15, 20 minutes.
Right.
But I thought that was going to be more because that would have been intriguing. That would have been an almost Hannibal Lecter Silence of the Lambs thing, which would have been a better format if you're going to make the movie that long. It's more
because then you have mind games with right, because then you have the mind games of the two guys going back and forth. You only got that I actually thought it was very laughable at the end. Him going like, oh, I'm like, what, is this for real right now? Like, this is bad.
Well, I'll get to that when we talk about character. I'm trying to
yes,
I'm trying to
Okay. Yep. Any other points, Steve?
Again, like, I'm not opposed to a 3-hour Batman movie, but you have to do a really great story to do that. And what these guys showed, yeah, that's a good question, Eric.
And he did.
Yeah.
I don't think that's how you spell incel.
But there's an aspect. So just to let everyone know, not that anyone probably cares, Riddler's my favorite villain.
Right.
So if you screw up the Riddler, I'm going to be harder on you because that's my favorite.
Right.
And my favorite's Penguin, who didn't fare a lot better. I mean, he wasn't ruined, but I mean, he was kind of Penguin. Not really. I don't know.
It was early Penguin for him.
Yep.
Like, I like Penguin coming up on his own. I don't like this idea that Penguin's a lackey of someone.
Yeah.
That's my problem. Riddler got ruined for other reasons. They made him into Jigsaw. But for me, Penguin got ruined because it's like, oh, he's just a Falcone lackey, and who is he? And he's a nobody. And it's like, okay, he's going to rise now. Yeah, but I want him to be awesome from the beginning.
Well, he didn't, really factor into the story. He didn't really factor in because the whole setup was Riddler's out there killing people. We got to stop him. Because it's not like he didn't know who it was. You saw him kill the guy in the first scene.
Yeah, we know it's the Riddler, right?
And then he's leaving like these riddles. So it's like we know who's doing it.
It's not a mystery.
Yeah, the clear path is, how is Batman and the GCPD going to stop him, find him, and stop him? Then it was like going down this rabbit hole of like all these power players in Gotham are scumbags, and I'm like, but this has no purpose to what you set the movie up as.
Yeah, so the Riddler. Okay, so spoilers. We're saying spoilers. So the Riddler was an orphan, and Thomas Wayne was setting up a foundation that we could call it the Wayne Foundation or whatever. It was setting up a foundation to help the orphans or
right.
So whatever. And then that he died, and then all of that money just went nowhere, and these guys were all raping that money, for themselves and like fighting over it and whatever. And then the Riddler's one of these orphans who is upset and had a shitty life or whatever because all this happened. So he's going to uncover all the lies. So the mayor was in on it. So he's a bullshitter. The Commissioner Gordon, whatever his name is, was in on it. So he was a bad guy. And they're saying Thomas Wayne was in on it. So he's a bad guy. But how is Thomas Wayne in on it when he's creating the thing? I didn't get, but he had secrets too, as you said, Steve, the skeletons in the closet. And Falcone was bad, and Maroni and all that. But it wasn't Falcone. And then there's a subplot of Falcone ratted out. Like, we know Falcone's bad, so Riddler doesn't need to uncover his secrets. But Falcone ratted out other mobsters. But what does that have to do? What does that subplot have to do with the Riddler or Batman? It doesn't have to do with anything, because he could have, like, Riddler could have just targeted Falcone and saying, listen, you're one of the guys who took the money from the Wayne Foundation that I needed as a kid. But no, they gave a subplot of, he also ratted it out. So therefore, if he's the rat, he's going to know who the Riddler is. How would he know? I don't know when they came up with that idea. Like, the Riddler killed the mayor, he killed the commissioner, then he's after the rat, and they're trying to figure out who the rat is. But why would they assume the rat knows who the Riddler is? I must have missed that, and nobody seems to be able to answer why. That seems like a plot thing. Like,
it's a studio thing. Like, because they wanted to make it seem like the Riddler was some sort of crusade. Like, he was similar to Batman because he's a crusader. Like, I'm standing up for the little guy. Even though my methods are way out there.
Yeah. No, that's exactly right, Gray.
And then why does he need to do jigsaw puzzles? I just don't get it. Like, that's what I mean, I love Saw. I knew they were going to do that for the Riddler. I'm like, the second you say dark and gray, they're like, it's just going to be Jigsaw. I don't know.
Well, that's the thing though. Like, we had the best Riddler ever, but it wasn't even for we didn't even have a Batman, which is weird.
Double C. I heard they said the next one might be Court of Owls.
Yeah, I heard Court of Owls, so that would be cool. But did you guys get those little, like, I don't want to say like like hints and nods that they're going to do Court of Owls, because like if Gotham's really bad and it's there, that's by design.
I think Court of Owls needs to be done a little bit later on.
So it should be like an overarching villain.
Yeah, like, maybe like have a hint of it or something, and then at the did you guys we got chapter 1 of Long Halloween when we went to go see the movie? Did you get that or no? They gave us a comic book. It was chapter 1 of Long Halloween.
Damn,
we got that.
I did not get that.
Yeah, they gave that out at the thing. I don't need it, but I mean, it's cool to have.
Canadians get everything.
I know, because Canada rocks, man. That's how that goes.
Like people flip.
Okay, so let's talk about the artistry. So the artistry is going to involve the music, the look of the movie, atmosphere, all that kind of stuff. The way the characters look, like the bat suit, we're going to save that for characters.
Sure.
Yeah.
The artistry for me, firstly, I thought it was super dark and to the point where you can't see anything. But
Dark City.
This has happened. Yeah, see, now Dark City, Conan the Barbarian, 47 Ronin, all these movies looked a hell of a lot better when I had them at home on Blu-ray or 4K or whatever than they did in the theater. I remember Conan I'm thinking, I can't see anything in this movie. And it was much better at home. So I'm not sure if it's going to look better at home. But I will say that the soundtrack, I bought it. It's 10 out of 10. It's my second favorite since the Elfman, Batman Returns. It does fit this movie. Without the soundtrack, this movie would have gotten negative for pacing. Like the soundtrack made it better. Like it made it seem like there's more important things going on. So the soundtrack was good. So this fellow, I don't know who he is. He didn't copy anything. There's a little bit of hint of Star Wars.
Like Michael.
Michael
Jacine. I don't.
Yeah,
it's Italian. It's Italian.
He's Italian, and I got Batman as my. I put it as my.
That is cool. I like that.
So the soundtrack. Yeah, I've got the soundtrack on iTunes or whatever.
Oh, okay.
It's right next to Halloween Kills.
Oh, well, no accounting for taste.
Halloween Kills has a great soundtrack. Okay.
Yeah.
And I do like Gotham City, as a sort of the Crow. It's a little bit of the mix of Crow and Crow City of Angels. I really like City of Angels, and I think that's a great artistic film. And I know everyone hates the City of Angels. I'm not going to do a versus on it because everyone will just say the Crow one is way better than City of Angels. But I really like City of Angels because it's got this yellow haze. And this movie has like this very dirty haze. So I kind of think that's really cool. My problems in the art department is when you're investigating a crime scene in the dark. It's like, well, wouldn't you turn the lights on? I mean, this was so stupid. I'm okay with dark and gritty visual styles if it makes sense for what's going on. Like Gotham City's a cesspool. It's all shitty. Okay, fine. But they're in this guy's house and he's got a nice little house and the lights are off and they're doing and investigating a crime scene. Like, why don't you turn the lights on? I don't get it. It's so silly. I'm like, but if you turn the light on, then Batman's gonna look like a goof standing there with a bunch of cops. He's in this armored suit. They're like, who's this idiot standing here? So like, well, we better keep this in the dark, but it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
The artistry needs to coincide with what's happening on the screen. If you're having a chase scene in the dark, I will complain saying, well, why are there chase scenes in the dark where I can't see them? But okay. But I mean, this is like in the dark when they're just standing at a crime scene. Like, shouldn't we be able to see what it's like? They're in the diner and it's like super dark. Like, why is a diner dark? I've never seen a dark diner. Like, they're lit up. I got to see my food for Christ's sakes. It might be okay at home. Again, this might be fixed at home, but the music was good. Like I couldn't see. There's literally some parts where I couldn't even see what was happening. I don't know how those are going to be fixed on later on, but I like the idea of what they were going for. But this is a lot of, I like the idea, but the execution wasn't that good. Mm-hmm. I love the idea of a detective story. He's Batman all the time. He's working with the cops, blah, 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 all that. But it's just kind of like, there's always a tick like, oh yeah, but you didn't really see this very well. Ooh, there's not much action sequences. It's like, there's no action. There's one fight at the end and one car chase. That's it. I don't count him beating up a thug, as an action scene, or that Iceberg Lounge where he knocks out a few guys. There's only one fight at the end and one car chase. That's it. which is kind of not great for a 3-hour Batman movie. Like you almost thought that they were trying to save money on budget.
It's just like I'm also looking at Gotham like, what is the rent like here? Because who would live here? Like it's dark. You can't see anything. There's a really good chance you're gonna get shot like on the way to the mailbox. Like who lives there?
Just Joe, I know. Pay your
right. That's why all that money went to paying for Gotham's light bill.
I see everything in IMAX. Steve and I go to the best IMAX, and the sound is killer. I don't even know. I haven't been to a regular theater in 15 years. As soon as IMAX opened, I never went back to anything else. I see everything in the biggest screen that we have in my area. Sean has to drive an hour out to come see it on the screen that we go to. So I'm seeing it on kick-ass screens. I don't see it on regular screens.
Oh, so you see it on IMAX? Mr. Fancy, do you drink your red cups with your pinky out too?
Hello,
I do.
Mr.
I hold my
fancy pants.
Yeah.
Hello, Mr. Fancy Pants. I got use for use, pal.
So you're giving it a 1 for artistry, right, Jammin?
I'm giving it a 1 because I'm being super generous and lazy.
Wow.
And the reason I'm being lazy is that I just want to say I'm giving it 5 out of 10. I'm just saying it's 1 all the way down.
Yeah. No,
but really, my initial review of this movie was 4 out of 10, and the artistry and pacing were the killers. Because we'll get to characters. I liked the characters, except for Riddler, who was complete garbage. And Penguin was like, eh. But everyone else I liked. We'll get to characters in a minute, but let's continue with artistry. So, Steve, what did you give for artistry then? Are you giving it a 0 or
1?
Giving it a 1 for artistry? Okay, yeah. So, anything to add? Anything?
Yeah.
To add on
So, things I liked, because I know I've beaten up this movie. So let me just tell you why I'm even continuing to talk about it.
Right.
Soundtrack was great.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I did like the Batmobile.
Yes.
I did not expect.
I liked it.
I thought it would just be a car, and I'm like, this is going to be silly. But when I saw how they did it, aka Turner, yeah. But when I saw it, I'm like, this is actually really well done. I like the rocket in the back and how they made it look. It looked like a car, but it didn't look like a car. Yeah. And I thought that was a very clever way to do things.
Yeah. I'm buying that car too. If I see one, I'll grab one for you. The small ones.
Okay.
I thought you were
like
really
the car.
Like,
the car was awesome.
Real cars?
I like. No. Steve.
I get the Hot Wheels.
He collects the, and they've got better versions of it too. But I'm going to buy the better version of that car. I thought the car would suck too. I forgot to mention that, so I'm glad you did. Yeah. Okay,
yeah. The Batmobile. So that's what I liked.
Yeah, Batmobile was wicked.
What I didn't like was this.
Right. I know.
I could see everything. I just didn't like what I was seeing.
Right.
The thing is. Was this? I don't think anyone said that.
That was super dark.
Dark, yeah. You're right.
You're right.
That was a movie.
No, I mean, and when we're saying dark, we mean like the lights are off. It's like why? The last half an hour of Requiem was a black screen.
Yeah.
The next Batman movie, I said this last night, I'm going to say it again. The next Batman movie is going to be a black screen with just grunting noises in the background.
And it's going to be shot in the closet.
And then you're going to be like, oh, it's so dark and gritty. Okay.
The thing is that I think they went too overboard with the dark, obviously.
Yeah.
It needed to have a little bit of light. And I know you can't be Batman in during the day, but you do need that because something Gray said earlier resonated with me. Why would you live in Gotham City? Like, it looks like a miserable place to live. And there's also a couple of other things I did not like. And this is just me.
Yep.
I did not look. Gotham City has always been considered a comic book version of New York. Right? It's Gotham City. New York City has been called Gotham, right? Like,
in the
it's like
70s, though.
But I don't like how on the nose it was. Gotham Square Garden, I did not like that. I did not like that there was a Times Square. It did not feel like Gotham City to me anymore. It felt like you're obviously now just trying to make it New York. It took me out of the movie. Because now I'm like, my suspension of disbelief, I'm like, well, this is New York. Why are you calling it Gotham? It literally looks like Gotham. I mean, like New York.
Like,
I didn't like that. I didn't like Wayne Manor because there was no manor. He lived in a building. The Batcave was in an abandoned subway tunnel. I didn't like that. make it proper. Something J-Man said a long time ago about the Nolan movies was, don't make it too realistic because then Batman doesn't make sense.
Yep, I stand by that.
This felt a lot like that. They were trying to make a somewhat realistic movie, because everyone else looked like crap. Catwoman's mask looked like crap. The Riddler himself looked like crap. Everything looked like crap. Unfortunately, we don't get hard.
We don't have Target here, Double C.
Yeah, thanks. We don't have Target.
Well, I have a Toys R Us that I walk across. I go and get a milk tea, and then I like a bubble milk tea, and then I go to Toys R Us and buy my stuff. I just walk there. So, woohoo! I got Toys R Us next to me. So I don't have a Target though.
You guys have Toys R Us though.
Yeah, I didn't like. If you're going to make it realistic, then Batman doesn't make sense.
Right.
And everyone's costume looked homemade or garbage, or you bought it in a store. So what's Batman doing there? Why is Batman making any sense? And no one's afraid of him. So why do we need Batman here? Why is there Batman? So it's the same principle to me. It's just that Christopher Nolan just doesn't make any more, but he made good films at that time. Matt Reeves he made Cloverfield.
Whoa. The Planet of the Apes movies
are okay, but they're not.
They're fine, but they're not as good as the original.
They're not Planet of the Apes.
As good as the original.
Yeah. It's.
But they're not Planet of the Apes, are they?
They're all right, but it's going to take a long time to make up for Cloverfield. To me, that's one of the worst movies I've ever seen in the theater. So artistically, there are aspects of it I liked, and conceptually, I'm with J-Man. I conceptually understood and agreed with some of the decisions. The execution was definitely off, but I'm not giving it a 0 because I have to admit I did like the soundtrack and I did like aspects of what I saw.
Okay. All right, Gray, 0, 1, or 2 for the artistic value of this movie.
Oh boy. Before I saw the movie, I like to go on Wikipedia. I like to look at all the little sites and and I'm a weirdo like that. And it originally Ben Affleck was supposed to direct this. He was supposed to do it on his and he said, and he dropped out, and I quote, "It doesn't feel like it would be a fun time." Right. And I really wow, Ben Affleck's really on it. he knows how to pick his projects.
Yeah.
I saw artistically, it's cool, but I saw this before. I've seen this type of stuff before.
Yeah.
Like I said, we saw J-Man, you mentioned it's like Crow City of Angels. I mentioned earlier it's like Dark City.
Yeah.
It's we know where Matt Reeves is getting his his influences from, and he's not doing it. He's not paying it justice. So he, as cool as it looks, 0.
Wow. All right. So
So
you didn't like the soundtrack? You didn't like the soundtrack?
No. Honestly, I haven't listened to the soundtrack straight through yet.
Okay.
It maybe get a 0.1, but right now it's 0.
0. Okay.
I am just seeing this movie. No, bad.
No, don't do that.
No, I mean,
okay, characters. So the characters we got Batman, we have Catwoman, we have Jim, we have Falcone, we have Penguin, we have Riddler. Am I missing anybody? We have Alfred, which is only in it for a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say, I'm giving it a 1. Let's go through them all. Well, just give me your 0, 1, or 2, and then we'll go through every character.
Okay.
Greymalkin, what do you think?
I liked everybody except for Paul Dano as the Riddler.
Okay, so 1.5 out of 2.
Yeah. Let's go with that. Yeah.
Steve,
that's fair.
1.
Okay, so let's go through it. Alfred, in the short scenes that he was in, I really liked him. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Andy Serkis. Oh, he's always a play. He's an all-star.
Yeah, he's
awesome.
He
doesn't do bad movies anymore.
Okay. Yeah, there's not much to talk about because he's not.
I saw your hour like
Inkheart.
Yeah.
13 going on 30.
All right. Do we all agree that Riddler's garbage?
I'm going to go on a rant about Riddler.
Okay, well let's save that then for the end of this category.
Yeah, it was garbage. Like
he's garbage.
Was that a garbage back on his face?
Yeah, I don't know. It's garbage. It's awful.
I can't breathe.
Nobody bought that toy. When I went to Toys R Us, there was one Batman left, and there was 400 Riddlers. It's like you could get Riddler no problem because nobody wants that toy.
Nope.
Because it's not Riddler. It's garbage. I don't know what's like. Okay. Let's do Penguin. Did we like the Penguin?
I had no feelings about the Penguin.
Me neither. Gray? I'm like he's okay.
I like Colin Farrell. Colin Farrell did Bullseye justice. I always give him credit for that.
Okay. So you're okay. Yeah, Penguin's like he's okay.
He's okay. I want more of him.
Yeah, like, he needs to have the hat. He needs to have the monocle. He needs to have the cane and all that.
I want to see him with that bird that eats people. That's right. He should be wacky. He should be like, I don't like have a gun when you see Penguin because that bird looks at you funny. He's gonna.
He needs a character in the movie.
He's just kind of. He'll be one. I guess he'll be one in the sequel. Okay. Falcone, I thought was like the damn best, man. John Turturro's awesome. Do we all think he's the best or no?
I have no feelings about
what
he did.
John Turturro, since Do the Right Thing, has never done a bad movie.
He's always. I mean, except for Transformers, I've liked everything that he's done. Brain Donors is one of my favorite movies. That's a comedy that's based off the Marx Brothers skits.
14
and
The Secret Window with Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
Oh yes. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, he was good in that.
You stole my story.
And Big Lebowski is the greatest movie ever made, so obviously he's the best. Jesus Quintana, that creep can roll. It's like but he's a pervert, dude. Oh no, I'm serious. He did time for exposing himself to a girl. You're like,
like really? You don't have to go that method.
So funny. That movie is genius. I just got I bought that on 4K for Christ's sakes. I'm such a loser. I don't know why I need that on 4K, but I don't care. I'm buying it on 4K. It's such that was the most random dumbass purchase ever. And I'm like, because I was looking, I'm like, I don't have the Blu-ray of this. I'm like, I'll just get the 4K. I'm like, so I've got the 4K of Big Lebowski, which you don't even need it 4K because how good is it going to look? It's just guys standing around, but it's just worth having it just to be because I love the movie. So.
Hey, that movie's still out because it uses evidence.
Okay, so hold on. What do we got here? Jim Gordon. Did we like Commissioner Gordon? I liked him.
I had no feelings about him.
Man, you are just you cold as ice.
You didn't like him, Steve?
No, I didn't care one way or the other. Like the problem is that a lot of these characters served a story, and the story was purposeless. The characters didn't really stand out because they were just mechanisms in the story.
Right.
So, I mean, I didn't hate anyone. I wasn't allowed to have an opinion about them.
Yeah.
Because they had no value in the movie. So.
Okay. What about you, Gray? Did you like Jim Gordon in this?
Once again, Jeffrey Wright.
Yeah, he's awesome.
But no, like Steven said, you want more. You want want to get an idea of where this person is inside their head. Like we don't really get that except for Bruce, kinda.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Okay, so before we get to Batman and the rant on the Riddler, we've got Catwoman. So what did we all think about Catwoman? Now, I'll tell you my thing on her. I liked her. I felt that it was a bit weird with her. It's like, I'm looking out for my friend, and I didn't get that whole friend thing. I kind of wish she would have just been,
I love her,
just a cat burglar, and just be like someone who's just stealing from the mob because she's like, well, I don't care, F these guys, versus she's stealing from them because her friend was there and her friend got hurt or whatever or missing, and that I felt was a little bit. I felt the storyline of that was weak. But I like her as Catwoman, and she seemed to be jumping around. I'm thinking, at one point I said to Sean, who was there, I was like, dude, she's jumping around better than Batman. Like, she's moving around and flicking her thing and spinning around. I'm like, And I liked too, and someone pointed this out, I don't remember who this was. I liked the fact that when she went up against Batman, Batman just beat her. It's like Catwoman, because I'm tired of this, like, everyone's almost equal to Batman. It's like he just beat her up. Like she got a couple of moves in, and it's like you can't beat Batman up, right? And I like that and then that to me makes her seem cooler because she's like, hey, she went toe to toe Batman, she lost, but she's got her own skills, which is stuff that Batman can't do. So I liked
her heart, yeah,
and I liked her. So overall, I liked her, but I didn't really like the story of what they were doing with her in this movie. Like, she's like, oh, where's my friend?
Shoehorned in.
Yeah, she was shoehorned in, and her friend dying was just like, oh, okay. I did like the part when Batman was telling her what to do, when she had the goggles or the thing, and he's like, okay, turn over here, turn here. I thought that I liked the way that they paired them in an actual mission. It wasn't just like, oh, we're together. It's like, no, we're together. It's like, no, we're going on a mission. Like, okay, you're going undercover. I'm going to put the lenses on. You're going to, and it's like, oh, okay. She's actually working with Batman in an official capacity, but she's like, hey, I'm only here to learn about my friend. So if your plans and my plans don't coincide, then I'm out of here. And she played to that. She's like, F you, I'm done now. Right. So I liked that part of it. What did you think of Catwoman, Steve?
Overall, I liked her. I hated her mask.
I hated the mask too. That was dumb.
But you know what? It was the Catwoman character to me mostly. She was an agent of her own. The thing with the friend did seem out of nowhere, but it fit the Catwoman mode. I just basically replaced friend with sister because in the comics and that she was very protective of her sister and that. So I sort of mind warped to that.
She can't be the sister anymore because we know whose daughter she is. All right.
Yes, yes, that was all. Yeah, that was great. Just make everyone relate to everyone. Why not?
Right.
But I thought it was very much the Catwoman character. Her reactions, her attitude, what she thought. She wasn't an agent of Batman. She wasn't a villain. She was very much on her own. You know, they did the whole romance thing with Batman, which, you know, the subtext, which is, you know, common. So I feel like they did mostly the character justice.
Yeah. Okay, great. What did you think of Catwoman?
I kept on seeing, like, I love the character. I love the character, but I kept on seeing, like, your mother would have done this better. No, and that's not a digger. I love Zoe Kravitz, but like her mother would have done it a little bit better. And it's just like, you know, Jammin, like she was shoehorned in there. And the way he says that she content a femininity to his masculine, like, did she really need to be in this movie?
Right? No, not really.
No, and again, you know, great. You're going back to the same problem I had where the characters can be as great as they want. If they're not doing anything relevant, then I'm just sitting there saying, what am I watching?
Right. It's
like, was that supposed to be Joker at the end, for Christ's sake?
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
That's brutal.
Yeah.
Like, why is that even there? Sean said, or Steve, did you say this, where they were thinking originally of having the Joker be in it more and he was going to be like helping Batman solve the crimes or something.
Why not?
It's like,
it already wasn't a Batman movie. Why not?
Yeah.
Oh, come on, man! Like get over your baser instincts.
Hey, you know what? Someone mentioned this too. Wasn't Zoe Kravitz saying like, "Oh, you know, this is not just going to be. This isn't going to just be a big sexy thing." It's like, it kind of was. It's
no, she was doing her job. She had to do promo.
Okay. No, but it sounded like she was like getting mad at people. It's like, well, why are you looking at just the sex appeal? It's like, well, that's what it was in the movie. So,
and that's how the movies portray her. So
yeah, they did. So that was weird. Okay, well, what about Pattinson? What do we think?
Well,
he's a good
actor. I surprisingly liked the costume more than I thought I would.
Me too.
I like the fact that Batarang came out and it was an actual thing. I liked he had the thing on his arm.
Oh, the grapplers.
Yeah, the grab. Like, I like the fact that he was always ready to do stuff. He's got a better voice as Batman than Bale. I mean, Bale sounded like he had laryngitis.
Yeah,
whereas, so I was really okay with his portrayal of Batman.
Yep.
His portrayal of Bruce Wayne, I have to agree with Clobby. It sucked. I was like, I get that, like, and the movie sort of cheated in a way that I was disappointed in the fact that they just made him a recluse and he didn't have to go out in public. I would have liked to have seen the public private persona better.
Yeah.
Right.
Because, you know, I think that's great. And that goes back, you know, I'm going to be a nerd here and say this goes back to like Shakespeare and Falstaff and that, like the public versus the private face. Mine too, Andrew. Well, like Mark, this movie was like Return of the King for me, where I was like, this is going to end. Now it's going to end. Oh, no, it's not. Now it's going to end. Oh, no, it's not. But now it's going to end.
We should call it the Batman never-ending story.
Yeah, the never-ending story.
Never-ending Batman.
You know, all those false jumps were actually worth it. They were actually served some.
But to address the year 2 thing, I don't want to get into fights, but like I disagree strongly with the year 2 thing, because if you look at any comic, any animated thing, anything with Batman always knows the answer. Mm-hmm. The person who's with him doesn't, and he has to say it because the other person's usually the reader or the viewer, but you take comfort that Batman always knows the answer. Yeah. Having the Riddler win
he won.
Ridiculous.
Well, like, Joker won in the last one, though.
And the real Batman to me would have figured out that the Riddler was sending him on this wild goose chase, cut it all out and said, okay, where's the Riddler? Right? And they didn't do that.
Don't do that. That movie won Academy Awards.
I really like the Fellowship of the Ring a lot. I think that's my favorite Lord of the Rings movie. I like when guys come together and go on a mission.
Yeah, it's cool. It ends a little weird, but like it's generally. But like the Batman always.
Thanks, Eric.
The Batman always knows what the hell's going on, and he can see things through. And like he'll go and do things, and the person who's with him's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, this already happened, and blah blah blah, and I'm doing this."
Right.
I didn't see this in the movie, and they're like, "Well, it's year 2." Everything's year 2 or year 1 or past his prime Batman.
Right.
When are we going to get prime Batman? Even 89, he hadn't been out that long. He hadn't been around that long because
the signal. They only get the signal at the very end.
Yeah. So
the last shot is getting the bat signal.
When are we going to get prime Batman? It's always he's starting out, or it's always he's hurt. Like in the Nolan verse, he was Batman, then he was excommunicated, then he was hurt. I'm like, when are we getting prime Batman? I don't want year 2 Batman. I don't want year 1 Batman. I don't want year 6-month Batman. I don't want 6-month Batman.
Okay.
I don't want over the hill Batman.
Right.
I want prime Batman.
You want 29-year-old Batman in the midst of it.
Yeah. And he's learning to be a detective. Batman was already had the skills. He needed the symbol and the costume to finish it off, but the man was already there.
Yeah, I'm gonna write that down, Steve, and say it the way you just said it. It's like Batman is ready to go.
Yeah,
Bruce Wayne is ready to go. The 2 missing elements was the costume. And what was the other thing you said?
The symbol.
The symbol. Yeah. The symbol of the bat and the costume.
Yeah,
that was it. You could, if you're going to do realistic year 1 or year 2, he should just be a nobody. And then finally he's like, shit, I got to do something with myself and make myself a symbol. And that's the thing. Yeah. Yep. Okay. So I guess we'll talk about the ranking of Pattinson. Any other points?
Gray.
Yeah.
Oh, so Gray. Sorry, Gray. Yeah. What were your points?
It's cool. Don't worry. No, Steve, you hit it right on the head. We want to see Batman in his prime. Like, because Batman in his prime, we get Robin. Batman in his prime, we get these big stories.
Yeah.
Like, if they... I feel like they could have just made this the Long Halloween. Like, they could have made this the Long Halloween, and it would have been just as... It would have been better. Yep. But that's neither here nor there.
Yep.
I agree. I like Patterson. Like, I like Robert Pattinson. I think he's a good actor. Twilight, I forgive him. I understand that was a check. He needed to do that in order to make himself bigger. So he's not doing all the stuff that he doesn't want to do anymore. But
he was good in Twilight, though. I watched all the Twilight movies, and he's fine.
Yeah, he's
I know
fine.
everyone was, and I actually bought Part 3 on Blu-ray. I liked Part 3. The other ones were not great, but Part 3 was great.
Those movies. I've never watched those movies.
You never watched? That's what I'm saying. People are saying, "Oh, sparkly Batman," but he's fine. I watched the first one. Well, we'll talk about that in a minute. Finish your point on Pattinson.
Oh no, it's just like he was fine. It's just like also the whole thing with him being a recluse. No, because all right, him being a recluse would point.
Thanks, Marc.
Him being a recluse actually puts more of a spotlight on him, because like you see Batman, like, oh, it's like, oh, we got Batman doing this. Wait a second, where's Bruce Wayne? Like, nobody's putting two and two together. Like when Riddler figured out who he was, it's like, wow, remedial. Like, I could have figured that out. Like, anybody could figure out who Batman is. It doesn't make any sense. Like, he needs that. Hopefully, if they do another one, we're gonna see the Playboy persona like more. So like
they have to, yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't want more. I don't want a lot of Bruce Wayne, though. That's the other thing.
No, it's got to be that balance. Like, I did like how much he was Batman in this, but like, he was Batman, but it was, again, purposelessness. It was almost like they had this like Bible, which is like, always must be Batman, always, no origin story, blah blah blah. But then they just filled it in with all this stuff that either didn't matter or stuff that's very popular to do at the time. Have the white privilege guys as the secret, villains, like the villains that we can't do anything about anymore. Make it very dark. That scene with the machine guns where he's fighting the guys and the machine guns are the only thing lining up. I've seen that 100 times now in modern movies.
I've seen that before too. Yeah.
And it's like, you had the opportunity to make something really special and something we haven't seen before.
Facts.
And you chose to not do it. And I can't unsee that. I can't make it anything else. So
yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. So let's do the enjoyment, and then we'll talk about just other random points.
Riddler?
Yeah, Riddler. We got to do Riddler.
Okay, do your Riddler rant.
Okay, so going into this film, my bottom 3 live action theatrical, I gotta say it like this, live action theatrical Batman villains were Tommy Lee Jones as Two-Face, unfortunately Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze,
Jesus Christ,
and Jeep Swenson as Bane.
Right. Yeah.
Just totally off the characters. The strange thing is, all 3 of them looked really good.
Right.
They all looked like the character. They're just the characterization was completely off.
Yeah, Bane is awesome, man. He looks
incredible.
So I was like, this guy's the greatest. And then it's like, why is he so trash in this movie? I can't believe it. It's
Schumacher.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's uncanny. But
those are the 3 worst villains because they're not even the characters.
They're not even the characters.
They don't look like the characters, but they're not the characters.
They are not the characters.
The Riddler doesn't look like the character, or
and that's why leading me down to that this is the worst.
Yeah, worst Batman
villain in live action history.
Yeah, easy.
Paul Dano is a talented actor, but he screwed the pooch in this movie large. When he was doing his thing he kept doing, the woman to my left just burst out in laughter, not because I asked her out on a date, but because of how stupid this looked. I was laughing. And then there was also scenes where, like, I thought he was in the Blair Witch Project because he was shoving the camera up his nose.
Yeah, I know.
And I'm like, what is going on? Like, Paul Dano, Matt Reeves, I'm assuming, told Paul Dano, just overplay every scene you're in. Just overact like hell. That has to be what the direction was, because that's what we got. This was a farce. And for someone, look, I pick on Jim Carrey as the Riddler all the time.
Sure.
I'm going to say something positive, a couple of things positive about Jim Carrey's Riddler.
Wait. Hang on. We gotta write this down. Okay,
Yep.
it is 8:24 Eastern time on the 5th. Okay, all right, we're good.
Something
all
positive.
Right.
Go.
One,
right.
He looked like the Riddler.
Yes.
That's true.
2, the aspect of he's trying to prove he's smarter and better than Bruce Wayne was in the movie.
Right. That is a Riddler thing.
That is a Riddler thing.
Yeah.
This was not in this movie. He was mad because he was an orphan and people picked on orphans and that.
Do they even call it
What?
anymore?
He flooded the seawall so people would go into that area. He assumed that everyone would run into that area. And then he just happened to have armed gunmen who looked like him shooting people. Why? Because the script said so. He is terrible. When he was talking, I literally, every time he kept going, I was like, get this man a doctor, but not like a psychiatrist. Like, he's a special needs case. Like, help this man. Like, this is your main villain. This is the mastermind who's going against Batman. He is atrocious. This is unfathomable, especially from an actor. As when they said Paul Dano was the Riddler, I'm like, oh, that casting's great. Paul Dano's terrific.
Yeah.
No. He's terrible in this movie. This is his worst performance. It's not even close.
Yeah.
It's Astra, and then he looks like a Goomba. He literally looks like a Goomba. I don't get it. Like, everyone's like, oh, this movie's great, and you're entitled to your opinion. Don't get me wrong, but like, I can't unsee this. And I love the Riddler. This was in no way, shape, or form, in any language, any interpretation, the Riddler. It is not. Right? He sent riddles. That's the only thing that the Riddler would do. Everything else, he was a C-list horror villain. C-list.
Yep.
Because he imparted no terror. He wasn't terrifying. He wasn't particularly interesting. Every time he was just a joke to laugh at whenever he showed up on the screen. And it was complete disrespect to the character. I don't think I've ever seen such disrespect to a character in any of these movies. At least with Schumacher, I understood he was just being a goof. And at least they looked right. This was unfathomable. This was just awful.
Yeah, no, Riddler it's not the Riddler. It's not any aspect of the Riddler except for leaving clues. And it's like, I don't get it. Like, I thought he wanted to outsmart Batman. That's like his thing. And it's very easy to outsmart Batman because this is year 2 Batman.
Yeah.
And he outsmarted him and he won at the end. And then Sean said this on Clobby's thing. And Sean was like, he goes, well, he won. And then Batman won because Riddler won, because Batman realized that he has to be hope and help the city out and all this stuff. He can't just be vengeance. And it's like, okay, what does this have to do with the rat? Selena Kyle's father? Like, what does this have to do with any of this crap? All of this stuff, the second someone says world building, I'm going to beat them up. I'm tired of these generic things like tone, gritty, world building.
Yeah.
Okay. You know how you build a world? By making things I care about, not by inserting something and being, ooh, was that supposed to be the Joker? It's like, make it the Joker, or don't have that. And you know what I mean? And just say there's a guy, even in Dark Knight or in Batman Begins, like, oh, there's a guy leaving a card at his crimes. You're like, ooh, like, that's kind of a neat thing.
It's just
I'd rather take Gotham. Yeah, I agree with you. I agree. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes, yeah, oh, absolutely.
I would take Gotham Riddler. That guy, okay. How bad is it when Gotham had a better Riddler? That is not good. When the TV show Gotham had a better Riddler than this movie. I would have liked to have seen, if they're going to do this for the next one, I would like to see Mad Hatter, because I love Mad Hatter.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
and do Mad Hatter, and you can have him, but he's got to look like Mad Hatter, but like a grittier one.
It'd be like a dark version of Alice in Wonderland.
Dark Alice in Wonderland. That would suit this style better.
Yeah.
The Riddler doesn't suit this thing. Looks like this Matt Reeves fellow, he needs to do Mad Hatter, Scarecrow, someone mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
Right? He needs to do
Mr. Zsasz.
Oh, Zsasz.
Yeah.
Right?
Hugo Strange.
Hugo Strange. He needs to do this kind of stuff. Now, at the end, was that Venom that he pumped himself with?
I thought it was Venom.
I thought it was Venom because it's green. It's glowing green. And that struck a big conversation last night. So was that Venom or not? I don't know. What did you think, Gray? Did you think that was Venom, or did you just think that was an adrenaline shot?
A little bit of column A, a little bit of column B, because with these movies now, like they want to put in make it like a little Easter egg for everybody. It's like, right, because they don't want the audience to feel dumb. They were like, "Hey, what's that new thing?" It's like, no, it's not it. It's something else. We're gonna bring that later. Don't worry about it. Whatever happened to putting everything in that first movie and making it awesome?
Right.
Yeah.
Build on it.
Yeah. Build on it.
Yeah.
That's what world build. That's what I was trying to say.
Right.
You said it better than I did. That's what I was trying to say. You world build because I'm so excited for this movie. I want to see where this goes. Not, I put in 45 Easter eggs, which I can explain later. No, that's just 45 things we don't need in this movie. That's why I said Dark Knight at the very end. Or I'm sorry, Batman Begins at the very end. They're like, there's some guy leaving a card. Joker. That's it. Not have scenes with people talking. So is that person in the cell going to be the same actor who plays the Joker? Does he have the makeup? What is going on? Or is he like,
right.
What is happening? Like, why is that there? And then, pumping Venom. It's like, did Batman create Venom? Is that
also, here's a question I had. But we're gonna find out, like probably the third movie, that the Court Owls put everything into motion. They're the ones who gave Riddler all this information.
Yeah,
they're the ones who told Mad Hatter to do this. And then we're gonna get Talon. Court Owls would be really cool for this.
Thanks, Mark.
Take care, Mark.
If we were to get Talon or something, I don't. But Batman's retired now. I'm over it. I want to see his sidekicks. I want to see Nightwing get his own movie. Oh,
you're going on.
I'm sorry. Just
you love this Nightwing idea. I know you want Nightwing so badly.
Amazing. Okay.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. But the problem is that I love the Court of Owls.
Yeah.
I thought it was the only really awesome thing that's come out in ideas for Batman in the last 10 years. Because everything has just been, here's Clayface again. Here's Joker again. Here's Joker again and again and again. Like,
I do like the Abyss stuff. That was
the Abyss stuff is fine. Yeah, the Abyss stuff was good, and I really like the Triple Cross, which I thought was neat. But like, the Court of Owls was like, if you talk about the New 52, everyone's like, the New 52 is garbage. I'm like, well, it gave us Court of Owls, and that was a really good.
I like Court of Owls.
But are the Talons going to be like, resurrected corpses? Like, again, no. Because of how this movie was structured, all of the interest, and this is where we're getting into more of the going back to the okay, that would be cool. You're right. But like when you're dealing with like Black Widow and this movie and everything, that's not everything, but a lot of the cool, interesting stuff that would translate to the audience, because essentially they're watching fantasy, which is what I keep bouncing my head off this, because I'm like, this is all fantasy. Everyone's like, well, I wouldn't believe a man would wear a bowler hat and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, okay, but you can believe in a Wookiee. Well, that's different. How is that different? Well, that's science fiction. No, it's fantasy. Sorry to tell you.
That's science fantasy. Like,
but people do wear bowlers and like, this is the other thing. It's like Riddler is not a weird. The thing with the Riddler is that he does fit a grounded thing, because you can have a guy in a green suit who's just crazy. Like this isn't like Joker who fell in acid and then you have to believe that someone could survive an acid bath.
Yeah.
Or Bane, you have to believe that someone can pump themselves full of this chemical and increase their like mass or whatever, right? So like Scarecrow's a realistic guy. He creates some sort of toxins. It's like Riddler sends puzzles. He's just insane. But you can have an insane guy. You don't need to have him filled with question marks on a tight suit. The Gotham Riddler was okay. He had like the green, sleek.
Yeah, that was cool.
Like, right? Yeah, he looked. Yeah. He's got the hat and everything. He's just wow. He's just insane. That guy was great.
Yeah, it's just that like because our friends at the Action Elite, I mentioned that like about how bad the Riddler is. Like, well, you can't have him with the bowler hat, and I'm like, why not? You're watching fantasy. You are watching fantasy. People in fantasy wear costumes.
Why does Batman have the ears?
Exactly. It goes back to that. That is the greatest.
You can't have Batman with ears. That's stupid.
Why would he look like Batman? Why would he have the ears?
Why would he have the ears?
You know what? Yeah, thank you, Steven, for bringing that up. That's something that really pissed me off when I was a kid about Batman Forever. Like, why is he in a bodysuit? He doesn't need that. He let him have the suit. Let him he's supposed to. Riddler to me always seemed like he had style.
Yeah,
like green was his color, and he knew that, but he had style. Like I'm in a suit and tie, but I look good.
Yeah,
like I don't. He's like the bodysuit is just lazy. It just like how do you go to the bathroom in that? You would have to clean. Like can you imagine during the filming, Jim Carrey had like wait, can we get a cut? I really got to use the bathroom.
Yeah. Well, but he was doing the Frank Gorshin thing. That's why.
He was doing the Frank Gorshin thing.
My thing is that okay, if he doesn't look like the Riddler and he doesn't act like the Riddler, it's like saying, well, you can't have him in a green suit and a bowler hat. Okay, then why are you using the Riddler?
Yeah,
it's like yeah, well, you can't have him giving riddles. Well, why not? Because it's like as soon as you start questioning the realism of something, it's like, why does Batman have a cape? Why does he have horns? The horns don't do anything. There's no function. They're just there. He didn't even do this to pretend he was a bat on a shadow.
That was so cool. That was cool. I like that.
He didn't do that. So it's like, why would Batman have a bat symbol on his chest? That serves no purpose. But people are willing to accept that, but they're not willing to accept a green suit where I've seen people in green suits in the real world.
Yep.
One of my old supervisors used to wear a pink dress shirt. He's like, he goes, someone once said, "Oh, pink's for girls," and he's like, "F it." And then he literally is like, just to piss people off, I'm going to wear, and he would wear pink and white. And it's like, and what am I supposed to say? No, you can't wear that. That's not realistic. Like, you can wear whatever you want. And first of all, the Riddler's costume in this movie, do you think that looks good? It looks awful. It's actually worse than I would have taken the tights over this. This thing, because at least you could say the guy's crazy.
Yeah.
He's wearing a garbage bag on his face, and he's wearing like a bomber jacket, or not a bomber. He's wearing like some military jacket or something. It's like with a garbage question mark that he put on. Why would he put that question mark on there? Like, I don't get it.
It's stupid.
People saying you can't have him in that. It's like, well, why do you have him in this? And so and look, you're watching a superhero movie. You can't have him in a green hat and a suit. It's like, well, why can you have Spider-Man in a costume? Why does Vulture have wings? Why does Mysterio have a globe on his head? Like, I don't like that. Then you have to question everything that ever happens. And then here's the other thing. Why are we wearing t-shirts right now? It's like back in the 40s, everyone wore suits.
Yeah.
All the time. You'd get dressed for dinner, right? It's like, so what? You can't just have us in t-shirts. Like, what are you talking about? I can do whatever I want. That's what the characters. If you don't,
you're a grown. You graduated from middle school. You don't have to take shit from nobody.
Okay, so let's move on and real quick. So what's your enjoyment level? So that is a free mark. 0, 1, or 2. You just say, I really like this movie. I know we just talked about the problems. I'm giving it a 2 out of 2 because I just enjoyed it. So for me, I'm just giving it a 1. Steve, what are you giving it? 0
0.5.
0.5. So great. What are you giving it? 0.5? 0.5. So 3, 1, 2, 3. So great. You're giving it 3.5 out of 10. Does that sound right?
Yeah. It's a lot nicer than I thought it was going to be.
Okay. And Steve, you're giving it 3 out of 10.
Yeah.
Does that sound fair? Like, I mean, does that sound like you're...
It's slightly more generous than I intended it to be, but like if we're talking about critically, that sounds like the right rating for me.
Okay.
But also, like, you guys know they're gonna have you guys heard they're gonna do HBO shows for like Gotham and like all the other characters. Like, is this their plan? Is this the Warner Brothers plan now? They're gonna come out with a movie. It's gonna be kind of lackluster, and then you're gonna come out with a couple shows afterwards. Like, why not just come out with a show? Make Batman a show. Make Batman the best show on TV.
The problem is that we can talk about the content and all that all the time.
Yeah.
My one line review of this is it's an arrogant, pompous, pretentious, lazy, cynical movie.
Yeah.
It thinks that just throwing Batman on the screen a bunch of times is going to please people without any desire to show any sort of story, excitement, anything. Like, it's just like, I'll throw Batman on here and this will please the plebs. And I'll make it 3 hours because I don't feel like editing it.
Yeah, my thing was that it's like people want to justify their love for silly comic books by pretending they're gritty and more important than they are. That's what I said yesterday on Clobberin Times. Yeah. They're embarrassed that they like Batman. So they want it to be as dark and gritty as possible so that they don't feel embarrassed that they like a guy dressed up as a bat. That's my harsh reality. I'm saying it better now than I did last night on Clobbery's channel. But that is it. Like, I'm not embarrassed that Superman is in the red underwear and the blue tights and he flies around and saves people. That's what I love. I don't care. If you think it's cheesy, then I don't give a shit. And it's like, but don't come on here and pretend that you're growing up the character by having him be a murderer. It's like, this is not growing it up. Oh, it's dark and gritty and thought-provoking. No, it's not. It's not thought-provoking. It's crap. This movie, it's like trying to make it gritty, dark. I'm telling you, the next one's going to be a black screen with nothing on it, right? It's like, don't try to pretend that you're making this better than, I'm making this better than what it really is. Batman is stupid and silly. My movie is a real Batman. And you know what it is? People use this to justify their love of a guy dressing up as a bat and punching out bad guys. A guy dressing up as a bat and punching out bad guys is stupid.
Definitely.
Period. It's stupid. But I love it. And I love it because it's fantasy and it's fun. Listen, a girl eating an apple and falling asleep and having 7 dwarves find a prince to come kiss her is absolutely stupid.
Yeah.
But
really creepy.
It's creepy.
It's weird.
It's weird. but fairy tales are important and they give us imagination and they get us through a rough day. They make us feel good. You know, superheroes make us feel happy. It's like, the audience for us literally cheered when Batman walked out of the fire. It was a cool shot. I was being I was like, but but look, him coming out, it's like, and the music played, and Penguin's like, I got you, Batman, you're dead, and then he walks out of the flames. It's like, that was pretty cool, and people cheered, and they didn't cheer because it was gritty or dark. They cheered because it's friggin' Batman walking out of the flames. Like, you didn't get me, buddy. That's the point of it. I don't think that a man in a bowler hat is any more or less serious or silly than a bunch of hobbits going on to throw a ring into a pit. Hey. It's like we can't have Riddler look like Riddler because that's just stupid. Is it stupider than a bunch of hobbits with hairy feet and hairy toes taking a ring and throwing it into a pit? That's essentially Lord of the Rings. It's like, what are you talking about? Is it any stupider than a laser sword? It's like, it's a laser sword. Star Wars was made for kids to sell toys. But it's a great film. It brought a heart and imagination and fantasy to people's lives. People loved it. They went to see it multiple times because they wanted to see good guys beat the bad guys. They wanted to see cool fights, great action. They wanted to fall in love with these characters. There's nothing wrong with it. You don't have to justify it by pretending it needs to be grittier. Ooh, the next Batman's going to be super gritty. It doesn't matter. Batman is a character that survives in several formats. He could be a children's cartoon. He could be Brave and the Bold. It could be the animated series. It could be Batman and Robin. It could be Adam West. It could be this dark and gritty thing too. but don't pretend that your dark, gritty version is the only version that matters and that's the be all and end all of Batman. And now we finally got the Batman we've always wanted. You've always wanted. Yeah, it's like the Batman you've always wanted since when? Since 5 minutes ago? Like the Batman I wanted was Adam West, and I'd watch it and I'd be like, wow, it's the comic books come to life. Then when I read different comic books, I'm like, well, now I want this one come to life.
Yeah. And it's just literally, you want the Batman character to be good and you want him to be in a good movie.
Yeah.
So I feel like you got mostly part 1, but you didn't get part 2.
Oh,
you didn't get part 2. And it's just very difficult to assign any worth to what he's doing. You can't, because he's literally, he loses and he just decides like saving people is good. Like that's literally what the movie is. And it took 3 hours to get to that point.
He's a slow learner.
Yeah. It's and the world building thing is a great point, because everyone knows what Gotham City is by this point. This is the 11th if you count Adam West, but this is the 10th if you don't. There they are. Live action Batman movie. Fair enough.
Yeah. You need to marinate.
But
yeah, that's okay. You got to think about these things. And
you got to think about it.
I'm going to watch it again at home. I'm better at home sometimes, where I can really pay attention a bit more and get a bit more involved.
And you can drink at home.
First of all, we had a guy smoking the entire movie.
You could smoke in the Canadian theaters?
I don't think you can, but just no one cares.
Yeah, now that the restrictions are off, they're just they're letting anyone in to do anything. It's what it is.
That's disgusting.
But the problem is that these movies are meant to be timeless.
Enjoyed.
Yeah, enjoyed. But they're also meant to be timeless.
Yes.
I generally try and look back on a movie years after it came out.
Yeah.
Years after it came out, to see if my opinion changed. Because right now, you got all these people coming out and saying it's great. You got all this hype. You got the commercials. You got this thing. Let it pass. Let it die. Let people forget. When the Nolan movies came out, you could not say anything wrong against them, especially Dark Knight. Like you could not find any fault with them, or else you were just destroyed. Now no one talks about them.
No, but here's the thing though. I also kind of feel like that movie got put over the top because Heath Ledger died like 6 months before the movie came out, is like, that's marketing. That's marketing that came by. Yeah,
that's marketing you don't want to ever see. But like it's true. Like there's always hype. Like I've gone back and watched Avatar now, because when I first saw it, I'm like, I don't care about this movie. And people were like, are you serious? And it's like the greatest movie of all time. It's like, what do you call it? Force Awakens.
Yeah.
When that movie came out, I was literally seeing commercials on Canadian television telling me this was a generational film. Right. This was a film for once in a generation.
Where's a hat? I wish I had it. That's all. Like out here, we use a term. That's all cap. That's all.
Man, Force Awakens was garbage.
Force Awakens. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say we were the only. We walked out of the theater, we're like garbage. That was garbage. That was the same as Episode 4. They remade Episode 4, and then they killed Han Solo, made him a deadbeat dad. Garbage. J.J. Abrams sucks. He sucks. We know he already sucks. It's like, well, and everyone's like, what are you talking about? That was a great movie. I'm like, no, it's not. It's a remake. No, it's not a remake. Actually, it is a remake. I will explain the entire movie for you and explain to you how it is a remake. Then I stopped explaining it to people, and I wrote a list. I wrote it out, and I copy pasted it in emails and be like, this is it. Then I found a guy who wrote the entire plot of Episode 4 and then scratched out each name and wrote the other, like, so Luke, he wrote Ray, he wrote the names. Yeah. So I literally took that.
He adjusted it. Easy.
Yeah, I just took that entire thing, and then I'm like, here.
No, but like, I'm with you. Force Awakens sucked. Yeah. I knew that movie was going to be trash when I saw Jurassic World a few months earlier. Like, wait a second, this is the same damn movie.
Yeah,
it's the same movie. Yeah,
and they're like, this is why I don't like these sequels that come out decades later, because I'm not sure if you guys ever watched the Boondocks.
I watched.
No. Okay,
I know Boondock Saints. I don't know about.
Oh no. Okay, they had this one where they say like, this is a reboot. A reboot is something where they give you the same thing, and it's really insulting your intelligence. They're treating you like you're stupid, and yeah, that's why I don't like oh god, reboots are horrible. Prequels are just trash because you already know the ending.
Yeah.
I don't get prequels.
Yeah,
they're doing this Fantastic Beasts like series. It's like, whoa,
really?
It's
vague enough that you can make it. It's vague enough.
I saw the first one, Crimes of Grindelwald or whatever, and I was like,
we've made movies that we'll see, but you don't want to watch them. We made them in high school and stuff, and in university.
Yeah. I wrote the script for New Mutants.
Did you write a New Mutant script? That's wicked.
No, for a TV show, like, just I took everything I liked about it and just put it in like the first episode. It's done, and then like once I got into it, I came up with 4 seasons, 4 complete seasons of 13 episodes. Everybody would love it. I'll send it to you, Jay, man. It's dope.
Nerdman sent me a bunch of his screenplays too that he did for Superman and Wonder Woman and stuff. I never written for a character that's established. I usually create my own,
right?
And I've written my own stories, and they're on Amazon. Link in description. So yeah, I've done a couple of novels. Steve's done like a bunch of novels. Everything's on Amazon. Steve's page is also in the description of every video, and my novels are there too. And I just end up writing. Whatever idea I have, I rework it into a Dungeons and Dragons adventure, and then we just play D&D off of it. So we just finished one campaign. I've got the next campaign ready to go. Oh, it's not ready. I know what the story's going to be, so I'm working on the story. So that's how or I like short stories. I have 2 or 3 characters that I use, and then those characters I translate into whatever story. If whatever idea I come up with, I make it fit one of those characters.
Okay.
So yeah, it's like I've got a guy that goes to different dimensions. So if it's going to be a sci-fi story, I use that character. I've got a private investigator who has a split personality, and his alternate ego is like really crazy. And actually, when he switches personality, he actually gets bigger and like straightens up more. So it's like he wears very loose clothing so that every time he grows a little bit bigger, he doesn't have to lose his clothes. It's not like the Hulk, but sort of.
It's like a practical Hulk.
It's a practical. It's like a Jekyll and Hyde thing, but he can do it on his own. So he can go back and forth between his two. So one personality is really smart, but the other one is really strong and physical. So when he needs the strong and physical guy, he morphs into that guy. And then when he needs to be a detective, he morphs back to the other guy. And then I do have a superhero character, and I've got my radio show character who's his name is Strong Arm. He's lost one of his arms in the war, and he gets a metal arm, and his arm can attach weapons to it and stuff. So he's just a hero. So I've got a few.
Damn it, what is
these are all on YouTube or somewhere. You can find them on my channel or just whatever.
It's like, hey, you know what? No, it's like Ash from Army of Darkness.
It's Army of Darkness.
With the arm instead of the hand.
Yeah,
I like that.
His name is Strong Arm. So it's a radio show, and Steve's in it, and Sean's in it. That's on my YouTube channel. You can go to my playlists, and you can check out the Adventures of Strong Arm, and it's my voice is on there. I'm Strong Arm, and so I made a radio show out of it because I like radio shows.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are my characters, and Steve's got a few characters. He's got like a magician character who's like a magician, but in the world that he lives in, there's actual rules to magic. It's almost like like a corporation, and it's like jobs. So it's like, oh, my wand is broken. Oh, well, you got to fill out this requisition form to get a new wand, and then we have to process it. We have to approve it. It's like, okay, but literally I need a wand because like there's monsters. And they're like, oh, we can't just skip the line, buddy. You gotta go through
protocols.
There's protocols,
rules, and we will not bring. You want preferential treatment, you asshole.
Right. No, that's exactly what it is. So it's like literally a corporation where he's just like in this cog. He's he's one of it, and it's like he has to do all these things, and it's like so he has to go through paperwork and all this bullshit. But he's a magician, but so it's like he can do real magic, but like so
he's like, but he's not licensed. He's like, okay, God.
Well, no, you got to renew the license. You got to renew the magic license.
I did a short story where he broke his third best wand, and he had to go through the insurance company.
Yeah,
and it was like terrible. And it's like he phoned home because he didn't know a number he needed. And he's talking to his mother. He's like, I need this number. I'm dealing with this insurance company. And she's like, your father's in the hospital because of that insurance company. He had to go in. So
it's like real world problems.
Yeah.
Like realistic.
Can you imagine the insurance agent being like, why'd you break your wand?
Well, it deals with.
Is that right?
Yeah. It's like, well, if you're using your wand against demons, you're not covered for that, right? It's like, well, it was the undead. Well, they could be considered demons, so I don't know.
Yeah, it goes under supernatural. Like, we'll put it in there. Like,
it's just stuff like that. And he's got a couple of roommates who are not magic users, and they keep like. Stuff keeps happening to them, and they're just like, whatever, this guy's just a weirdo, so we just like whatever happens, we just deal with it.
I think that'd be really funny if they did that for Satana, for it just like she has to go through the magical insurance
and it's been like outsourced, of course.
Press 1 for this and press 2 and you're on the hold and all.
It's just super ludicrous, man. It's just super ludicrous.
No, imagine a lot of the villains are ones who just like, you know what? I'm going against the machine. Like, no, bro, don't break my wand. I gotta go in the shirt. Oh, yeah, here you go. Sorry about that. Like, those guys are killing.
I think the thing is like we don't want to do. I'm really nervous about taking on a character that's already established.
Yeah.
Even though I love Batman and Superman, I think I'd have great ideas for those characters. I said this before. I would do Spy Smasher because that character is just kind of like they brought a female version, which was like the daughter in DC, and she didn't go anywhere. But Spy Smasher is an old Fawcett guy with Captain Marvel and all that, so he's part of the DC characters, but like nobody really uses him. So I would do something like that. Like I would take Spy Smasher. Or even like the original Blue Beetle, but now they're doing a new Blue Beetle, so that old Blue Beetle's gone now, so they're never going to use him again. But Spy Smasher hasn't been used, and later he became the Crime Smasher because the war ended or whatever.
I just call him Smasher of things.
The Smasher, yeah. But I like Spy Smasher, the serial. It's my favorite serial. It's one of my favorite superhero things. And I've seen it so many times. It's so good. I've got the shirt of. I don't wear the shirt, but I've got like his logo shirt. But I would do something like that. I wouldn't take on, like Wonder Woman or Flash or something. It would be somebody weird that, and I would make, and I bet you if I took that, I could make it because I know what to do to make that cool. And that's why Matt Reeves, he had a lot of good ideas that like Steve said this walking right out of the theater. And he's like, he goes, you know what? He goes, if I told you, let's say if I wasn't in the movie, I didn't go to the movie, and he's like, oh, Jay, man, let me tell you about this movie. He's like, Batman's in it the whole movie. He's solving a complicated case. The Riddler's sending out all these clues, right? Penguin is in it. Catwoman is in it. It's like the Batmobile looks pretty cool. You're like, oh my God, yeah, wow, yeah, oh yeah, dude, I'm in. And then you're like, what happened? This is kind of boring. That's the problem. Forget about this crap. I deleted our notes. I cleared our notes. Forget about all this crap we just talked about. Forget this whole crap thing. This sounds like an incredible movie. He's always Batman. He's solving a case. The Riddler's leaving these crazy ass clues. Penguin's in it. Catwoman's in it. It's all dark, right? It's like Gotham City's like crazy. It's like the Batmobile's like a big muscle car thing. It's like, oh, this sounds great. Batman's friggin' beating up guys. Wow. And then you watch it, you're like, huh, what the hell happened? This doesn't live up to what you're telling me it is. But there's nothing wrong. There's nothing except for the Riddler. There's nothing wrong with the movie. It's just not that awesome. I don't know. That's what and the thing is, it should have been more awesome because of what I just told you. It's like, he's not going to reveal his origin. He never takes off his mask. It's like, okay, this sounds like,
now we have more problems.
Well, it's generally like, what were you looking to do with this movie? Like, what were you trying to do? The first 3-hour Batman movie? Like, why do this character again? Other than the obvious, which is money. Like, from an artistic standpoint. Because if you're just going to be cynical and do it by a paint by numbers thing, then whatever. But like, my problem with this movie isn't necessarily that it's a bad Batman movie, because I expected it to be. I saw the Riddler costume. I'm like, this is not going to be good. You obviously disrespected the character right off the bat. It's not a good movie. Like, fundamentally, mechanically, technically, the nuts and bolts of how you tell a story, it doesn't make any sense. More than half the movie is irrelevant. Right. It's irrelevant. It's not that it's bad or it's not told. Right. It's irrelevant. Right. So you're basically sitting there watching a 3-hour movie saying none of this matters. Why are you wasting my time?
I'm looking through the Wikipedia. I'm looking for the writers of the movie, because sometimes it's not even the director's fault. It's the writers.
He wrote it.
And Matt Reeves wrote this with what's this guy? Apparently, this guy Peter Craig. He's the son of Sally Field, and he wrote Hunger Games, The Town, Top Gun. Really? Ugh.
Yeah, but Christopher McQuarrie had a lot to do with that.
Nepotism.
Hey, did that come out? Did that Maverick movie? Yeah, what the hell? That's like the longest wait of all time.
No.
I saw trailers for that 47 years ago.
Like, it's just, and the funny thing is that Matt Reeves made Cloverfield, and I hated it. He made Let Me In.
Oh, you really like that one,
which I like better than the original Swedish one.
Oh no, I have to put. Oh no, don't say stuff like that. I'm gonna have to pull this on you. Hold on, I have to pull this on you.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
And we're all stupid.
Hey, now I want to watch that movie just for that guy. All right, real quick.
The Let Me In. Hold on. The Let Me In was good. Sorry, go ahead, Greg. Say your
no. Just for that guy. Just remember that entire time. It's like, my wife was a dirty, dirty tramp. If anybody cheats, especially my wife, I am going to snap. I love how he incorporated that with everything in that movie. It's like, it was a category. My wife's a dirty whore.
I swear to you, I saw the Swedish one, and I expected to like it better than that one. And I sat there and I watched it. I'm like, I like the American one better.
Yeah, I remember you did say that, and that wasn't just being whatever, because I remember did I see the Swedish one? I don't remember if I've seen it now, but you showed me the American one, right?
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty good. That's probably Matt Reeves' best movie.
Yeah.
Because the apes, I still haven't seen the War for the Planet.
I saw it.
I did too.
I mean, the Planet of the Apes movies, they're good. You watch me, like, that was a good movie. But it's not Planet of the Apes. I want Planet of the Apes. I want them in their full. I want them to be living like humans live, and then we show up and we're considered inferior. That is what Planet of the Apes is. That man is inferior to the ape, and we have to prove ourselves or whatever. It's like, and then there's a battle, and this idea of how it became that, I don't really care. This is this whole need for the prequel. Oh, I need to know how the planet became the apes, or I don't care about that. It's explained. There's a nuclear blast, and then we all died out and we became stupid. Some of us hid underground and became those weird, smart, intelligent, those weird, intelligent guys.
Yeah.
And then the rest of us were just dumbasses, and the apes evolved. Something happened in the nuclear blast that somehow triggered evolution in the apes. the apes evolved to be the dominant species. That's all I need. Whatever Dr. Zaius and things say in the first one, I'm good with that. They even explained it a bit more in Escape from Planet of the Apes, where they kind of break it down a bit better. That's it. I don't need a trilogy of films to get to that point.
As opposed to the original ones, we got like 18 of those from 1968 to like 1984.
We got 5 of those, and we got a cartoon series and a live action series, and then we have
Yeah,
Dr. Zaius.
The Matt Reeves like Apes movie. He didn't do War. He didn't do the last one. He didn't.
He did the first 2.
They're fine.
No. He didn't do the first one. He did the last 2.
Oh, the last 2. Okay.
Oh, he did the last 2. Okay.
Yeah.
They're fine.
Yeah.
But like
Mad Hatter's who I want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I would still like them to do a proper Riddler at some point, but like, yeah, just do some. So if you can't do it, then don't bother.
Yeah.
Right.
The Riddler's over. They're never using that character again.
It's done. Anyhow, but what they lacked was the heart of Planet of the Apes, which was the social commentary that went through the entire film. All 5 of them.
Right.
Because people said the first film, but like if you watch it, it's like fascinating to watch, and each one is different. Like I would say each one's almost a different genre, but it's all connected to the same theme. Mm-hmm. I didn't feel that with the new one. The new one's fine. The new one's fine. They're good movies.
I got them right there.
Yeah. But I didn't feel the same way I did when I saw the first one or the second one.
First Planet of the Apes, I was like jumping up and down. And like, the third one when they come back and they're in the past, and it's like they're the smart apes, and then they're different, and they threaten humanity, and their child is a threat to the evolution of humanity, and then they're hunted down.
Yeah,
these are themes that are, and then the fourth one, which was basically like a revolution where like the apes are being treated like second-class citizens. They're being. It's basically addressing racism in sort of a way, right? With the
how come we gotta be apes though, J-Man? How come we gotta be apes?
And the apes have a revolution in that movie. I like Conquest for the Planet of the Apes. Oh hey Clobby, how's it going, dude?
I like all 5.
Hey, hey
Clobby.
Hey Clobberin.
Hey, I just finished Terminal, buddy. Just finished Terminal. We're starting season 4 tomorrow. Terminal was damn awesome. Wow. Season 3 is almost all 10 out of 10. There's like 7 episodes that are like 10 out of 10 in season 3. Anyway, but the Matt Reeves. So Matt Reeves Cloverfield, that was the worst movie of all time. Matt Reeves Let Me In was pretty good. The Apes movies are also good movies. The guy's not making a shit. And look, this Batman movie is not a shit movie. No. It's just not a great Batman thing because you're just like, it's too much of a regular movie. Look, this movie, if it wasn't Batman, if you just said the Dark Detective or something, right? Create a character, call him the Dark Detective. And he's just like a guy in like a trench coat, and he's got a hat and he's got like a mask. It's like the Shadow. He can look like Shadow.
Okay, I'll be okay with that. Shadow.
Yeah, it looks like the Shadow. So he's the Shadow, and then he's investigating the crimes. It's the same movie. And then at the end of that movie, people will be like, "That was boring."
Yeah, I mean, everyone is opining on it because it's a Batman movie, and people are opining on it who normally wouldn't give a damn.
Yes.
The problem is that again, it's not a good movie. It's just, if you cut Batman out, people would not like this movie.
Oh, for sure. They'd hate it.
Yeah. If you just had a different character in Batman, no one would like this film.
Yeah, I get it.
It would not be, people would not be like dying over it and saying it's the greatest Batman movie ever made. Like, no. It would be terrible. And I'm not offended, but I'm disappointed that this is the next Batman movie we got. You know what I mean? Like, this is it. Like, we went through all the stuff with Affleck's doing the movie, and he's not doing the movie, and all this stuff. And this is what and the delays, COVID, blah, blah, and this is what we got. I'm like, well, now how long am I going to have to wait? And are you going to do better on the next one? Because like everyone is so positive about this film. The filmmakers have no reason to make the next one better.
This is the same. This is the J.J. Abrams Star Trek. This is
Yep.
The Last Jedi. This is this is Transformers Part 2.
Yep.
This is G.I. Joe Part 2. This is, well, that one was a bit better. What else? Give me what other example? Like what happens? This is that Sherlock Holmes movie.
God, yeah. That was terrible.
With Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
It's like where the first one has 400 flaws and no one wants to point them out, and then they make the next movie and it has the same flaws as the previous one. It's like everyone's like, oh, The Last Jedi is so garbage, it ruined Luke Skywalker. Yeah, and the one before that, which you loved, ruined Han Solo and remade Episode 4.
Yeah.
I would say Force Awakens is worse.
Yeah.
Because it's a remake and it destroyed a character.
And it started, and it's, if we wouldn't have The Force Awakens, we wouldn't have The Last Jedi.
That's true too. We wouldn't have that.
That's the point. That's exactly
the original sin.
That's what Steve is saying.
That's what I'm saying. Like, great, J-Man. The problem isn't that this wasn't that good a movie. The next one's not going to be very good either.
No, it won't. It'll just be more of the same. Yeah, same like Transformers 1. We walked out of that and I was like, wow, this was offensively bad.
Yeah.
And then Transformers 2 came out and everyone's like, that was so dumb, it was so silly, it was so stupid. I'm like, it's the same movie as Part 1. What are you talking about?
I think I figured it out, J-Man.
Did you
figure it out? We are smart. We are, everybody else is like 2 years behind. Everything we're saying, they're going to be saying in 2 years.
Yes.
Yep.
And like, hey, let's say, yep, exactly. And I like really, I saw this review of on Twitter, and this one guy said, "Oh, except with the exception of Batman and Alfred, everybody, all the white people were bad." I'm like, well, that's kind of how it would be in real life, but
stop it.
But no, and it just says like the people who love these types of movies need to be licensed to breed.
Yeah,
no, I know. Yeah, and the thing, it's like we are ahead of the game because it's just the same thing that they repeat. I was ahead on Force Awakens. I was ahead on Star Trek. I was ahead on Transformers. I was ahead on G.I. Joe. I was ahead on what was the other ones where like we walked up like, well, that was awful, and everyone's like, this is a great movie. I'm like, really? Are you sure? And I'm like and I get made fun of all the time. I'm pretty easy on movies, and as we can see today, I've been the most positive out of everybody. Because end of the day, I always go with my heart, which is based on the heroes first.
Yeah.
It's like I like Robert Pattinson. I like Batman going around and just being Batman all the time. So I just give this movie an auto pass. I'm like, yeah, okay, that's cool. But again, if today we're being critical, we went through we're being critical on this movie. That's how I am with anything. That's how I am with Wonder Woman. That's how I am with whatever. Like, let's say Army of Darkness. It's like, I love Ash. I don't care what happened. I do think Army of Darkness is a fantastic movie, even just if I critically try to analyze it. It's fun. But if I like the character and I like the main guy, and that's who we're following, like Ash is in every scene of Army of Darkness.
Right.
Yeah. So that means every scene has something good in it.
Yeah.
Right.
Bruce Campbell he's a national treasure.
He's the best. He's the best, right? So and that's the thing. And then sometimes we'll get into stuff where I have to start analyzing it a little bit more. Like,
Michigan Gray.
Oh, okay. Close enough.
Yeah. So where would you guys rank? Let's get into a little bit of some, like, where would you rank this Batman film? And then maybe we could talk about Robert Pattinson, and then we're going to end it off, I think. So where would you rank this Batman film in the live action? So forget about Lego Batman, for no Mask of the Phantasm. So we can, let's see. Come on. And we won't count the serials because those were serialized. They didn't come out as one long movie. Although if you could watch the entire serial in the same amount of time as this movie.
Oh, wow.
Almost. Okay. So we've got Batman 66. We have Batman 89. We have Batman Returns. We have Forever. We have Batman and Robin. Then we have Begins. Then we have Dark Knight. Then we have Rises. Then we have the. Did I miss any?
What about would you count Batman v Superman?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
The Ultimate Edition.
Sure. One,
Okay.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9. Am I missing any?
Would you count Justice League?
No. That's an ensemble.
Yeah, no, and no.
What?
No, I'd say no to that.
Okay.
Okay,
9.
so what do you think is what's your forget about what you think is critically the best?
Right.
Like my favorite is Batman Returns. That's my favorite.
Yeah.
What's your favorite, Steve? Just who cares? It doesn't matter. Just like what's your favorite?
89 Batman.
Yeah, that is a good. That is dope.
So I would say 89 Returns, Batman 66, Batman Begins.
Yeah.
Are my 4 favorites. And you know what? This might make my 5.
Okay.
Because I don't really like any of the other ones.
Okay.
I don't know. Okay, Steve, what's so you said 89?
Yeah.
And then what?
Begins can be next.
Yep.
Then Returns.
Right.
66.
Yep.
Yeah, that's hard after you get past those 4.
That's what I'm saying. I think the Batman squeezes into the top 5. That's what I'm telling you.
By default.
It's gonna be in your top 5 because it can't not like go the other way.
Dark Knight. I'm going to say Dark Knight's 5 for me.
Dark Knight. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, Gray, what are your top 5 then?
89.
Yep.
Begins.
Yep.
Returns.
Yeah.
Returns. Yeah.
The Ultimate Edition of Batman v Superman.
Okay.
Mhm.
Wow.
Because it's a lot better. And I'm gonna go with Dark Knight.
Dark Knight. Okay.
Yeah. And everything else, like honorary 66, because you know how hard it is to pull off a Batman movie in the 60s. Everybody's already high, and like we're like that drunk.
Yeah. I don't know because for me, I'm very clear that Batman Returns is my favorite.
Yeah.
My personal favorite. I don't care. Number 2 is 89, then 66. Just because I love Adam West. Like, I mean, I would put that as number 1, but like it's just I can't. I love Batman Returns. I've watched it 100 times. Those 3 movies I've watched 100 times. Like I know the entire beginning of like Batman 80 or Batman 66. I love that movie. But then Batman Begins is there because I thought that was a good movie and a good origin of Batman. And then I think this movie, because Dark Knight, I don't know, it just feels Dark Knight feels long also. That's my other problem. Like Forever is a bit too goofy.
Yeah.
But it has some cool parts, but it kind of ruined the villains.
Yeah.
Batman and Robin, everyone was kind of not great.
Yeah.
Well, no, Robin. Chris O'Donnell was Robin's boss.
I like Robin.
Yeah.
Because like Robin,
Like he's the one shiny moment in that entire movie.
Yeah, that's true.
I will say that the thing with Dark Knight, why I would push Dark Knight ahead of this is, and you're right, it is long, but like there was moments of
Brilliance.
cinematic either joy or fun.
Yeah.
This movie is like watching a 3-hour funeral.
Yeah. So
An Irish funeral.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's for me? BVS is just brutal. I can't.
Oh, what? Hey, should we do Catwoman too? Because this is like the 4th Catwoman we had. Oh, actually, we don't even.
Well, I mean, do we count Halle Berry? That was awful.
I can't say because I never saw Catwoman.
You never saw the Halle Berry Cat? Oh,
No.
we gotta watch.
I saw
that.
20 seconds. I changed the channel.
Oh, you guys suck. Catwoman's my favorite movie now. Just to piss everybody off.
Why would you do that? Why?
I'm
Okay,
putting- it's my
Shell
favorite
Pfeiffer in Returns is the best one because I'll tell you, Jammin, you know the scene. Batman and Penguin are sitting like they're facing each other, and we just see Catwoman backflip it, floom, and she's like, she didn't even lose breath, and she just says, meow.
Yeah.
I know. I love it.
It's
I love Michelle Pfeiffer's. Look, Julie Newmar is the best ever.
Julie
but,
Newmar
like,
is awesome. Like it's her or Michelle. It's one or the other. Like there's no.
Eartha Kitt was pretty good.
Eartha Kitt her voice was great as Catwoman. That's for sure.
For some reason, I don't know why. She was almost my least favorite of the television show.
Okay.
Well, she was only in a couple of things, and Lee Merriweather only had the one movie, so it's hard to judge those two.
I didn't. Yeah, Lee Merriweather. I wasn't like. After Julie Newmar, that's a tough act to follow. I didn't really like anyone after her.
Yeah.
But I would say each one brought something different. Like Newmar, the prototype.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
Like Eartha Kitt, she brought that seductress because
she was definitely the sexiest of the Catwomen for me.
Yes,
in the sense of how she played it.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, I don't think Eartha Kitt knew that she was being filmed. She was just being herself.
Yeah, she was just I know. Yeah, she was just doing her own thing.
Like Jack Nicholson in '89. Like I don't think he knew
yeah, he's just like, I am this Joker.
I think, see, and this is the hilarious thing. I forgot to tell you guys about the Batman.
Yeah.
What I figured it out is that it was almost like someone who knew Batman had a conversation with someone who didn't know Batman. And snatches of the conversation made it into the movie, but the important stuff didn't.
Right.
So it's like, he's got, we haven't ever had Batman. You should have, got to have Batman. Okay, the origin story's been, can't do origin story. Like, it's really like they're taking notes. Matt Reeves is taking notes. Okay, can't do this. Okay, need Batman in there a lot. Riddler sends Riddle, sure. And then the conversation ended. Because then it's like, you got the important stuff. You got this. But then Matt Reeves didn't do anything else with it.
Yeah, you know what? That's sort of like in the beginning when I was saying there's those points which are the solid points. But it's almost like he listened to the fans, but then he didn't go anywhere with it. It's like the fans are sick and tired of the origin story. Okay, it's like what you're saying. Okay, I won't have that. It's like we're sick and tired of Batman revealing his identity every 5 minutes. Okay, we won't have that. Okay, well, we want to see more Batman. Okay, I'll have that in there. I want to see a detective story. Okay, I've got that in there. Then it's like, okay, I've got everything I need, guys. Thanks so much. And then it's like, but the storyline is rubbish. It's like, oh shit, I forgot to write a good storyline on top of that.
No, Jammin, you know what it is? It's just like that. And then it's like, okay, stick right here. I want to go get a snack. I'm going to tell you everything else you need. And the other person's like, no, I think I got everything. He's like,
I got it. Yeah.
Yeah, you know how to make movies, Matt. The rest is just making a movie. Yeah. You got the important stuff.
Yeah, the Riddler, he sends clues, right? I got it. It's like, well, he should really be like kind of a nerdy guy and very scrawny, and he should be trying to outsmart Batman. It's like, that sounds weird to me. I'll just make him a serial killer. It's like, no, but then that's not the Riddler, is it?
A really good Riddler story would have been from the animated show when that episode when they did his origin and showed that he got ripped off by his employer. He tried to kill his employer. That was a movie. They could have stretched that out.
I don't remember I've seen everything for Batman, but I don't. remember
the animated show.
I've seen all the animated series. I don't remember specific.
This very well.
Minotaur, the flying hand thing.
This very well could have been the Riddler sends him on a bunch of things, which makes him believe that everything he knows about his father and his family is BS, but it's just him playing him while he's doing this other thing, right? Yeah. And they had the ability to flip this in one scene when he's in Arkham and he's like, and Batman's talking to him. He's like, I got you. You were off chasing this thing. And meanwhile, this is what I was doing. If they had done that, I would have been a lot kinder to this movie because that would have been a Riddler thing to do, and it would have been a smart thing to do.
And then I'll second that by saying, or I'll add to that saying, then Batman should have been like, no, you didn't get me.
Yeah.
I knew about that. It's like, by the way, while you were doing this,
is what I
had Gordon go over here.
Yeah.
Right. And you thought, and you were following me, but you should have been following Gordon. It's like, I'm not the one who can gather evidence and testify against you. So I let you think that you were messing with me, but really I knew about it, and Gordon's got all the shit on you and you're going down, buddy. Right. but that requires some intelligence to come up with.
Hey, that's what I'm saying. We're smart.
Yeah.
Oh no, actually, you know, a really good what if the Riddler's whole plan was to get into Arkham?
And do something.
Yeah. Hey, that's why he's called the Truth.
That is
drop something on you.
That is just 3 words that basically sums it up.
Yeah, I think
like
what's
I
happened.
said, at least they could have made it worth our while to give us the characters at the end, but they didn't do that.
Yeah, all you got to do, you could have just made it 2 hours, because people, we were talking when we were last night talking about it on Clobby's channel. Marc came up with some good points. He was like saying, look, he goes, the orphan thing makes sense with in this story. It makes sense. He's upset and he wants to punish these people, and they all have skeletons in their closet. And I said, look, it's a great thing, but the problem is, like, that's literally a Criminal Minds episode. It's a 1 hour episode of Criminal Minds where Rossi and the team and whatever, they get together like, okay, we got this guy. He's crazy out of his mind. He's leaving these weird clues. We got him. It's not enough to justify 3 hours. If you want to make it 2 hours, you're going to have to do a few twisty things where it's like, hey, we've been following these clues and Batman's smart in figuring them out. Though he's not that smart, because Alfred figured out the first cipher thing and then Batman kind of continued off of his thing. Batman didn't know what that tool was for.
Nope.
And then some guys are like, oh, it's for the carpets. It's like, really? Like, couldn't Batman like scan that?
Yeah.
Like, let's say he didn't know what it was. Wouldn't he scan that? He's like, here's the murder weapon. Well, when he scanned it, wouldn't the Bat computer have told him what that thing is? Like, it's like he's figuring stuff out by accident. Oh, it's year 2. But I'm tired of year 2 as an excuse. Year 2 is not the excuse for everything that happens. It's like he's supposed to be ready to go at this point. Anyways, so have him figure stuff out. And then, they could have fixed it in the scene. He's in Arkham and he's like, so Batman, you didn't figure out my clues. I'm going to flood the city and whatever. Ha ha ha. It's like, no, Riddler, we figured out your garbage clues. It's like the city's not going to be flooded. It's like, oh, it's not. Okay. It's like, oh, what? You think you're being smart? And Riddler's like, oh, I wasn't going to flood the city. I was really setting this thing up. It's like, no, we got that too. And then while he's saying what he's setting up, there's flashbacks of Gordon and cops running in and stopping everything. And it's like, but Batman, it's like, I was fooling you. It's like, you thought you were fooling me. He goes, I know the only way to fool you is to think that you're fooling me, to give you overconfidence, to show your hand. And I knew you're going to show your hand and you're done. Right? Do something like that, because that's a Riddler plot. The problem is that there's also no action. This is what Truth is saying. That you've eliminated action. So if you eliminate action, you need a lot of story.
Yeah.
That's the problem. So look, Zack Snyder gave you a big brawl, right? He's like, look, we're just going to have the 2 characters. We give their backstories. Here's why they don't like each other or don't trust each other. Let's have a big fight. It's called Batman versus Superman. It's not called Batman plays chess against Superman. It's literally. I would
actually like to see that, though.
Yeah, they sit down and play chess.
Just see if Batman talks trash. He's like, oh, I already beat you. You don't even know yet.
Yeah, I know what your next move's going to be. No, but Riddler, I don't know if anyone has seen Death Note, the anime, or right. So
yeah. Oh, that was they did that well.
Right. Yeah. So this is what Batman versus the Riddler needs to look like.
Yeah.
L versus Light, or Raito is the way they say it in Raito. So L versus Light, where it's like, oh, I got you. Oh, no, you didn't. I got you. You know, they need to play off of each other in that way. It needs to be the Riddler versus Batman in a chess game played out in Gotham City, with Batman has Jim Gordon and the police as his faction. Riddler has his guys. Okay. And he's playing, and they're playing off each other, and it's a chess battle that's being played out in the city.
Yeah, but then they will say like, "Oh, Batman's manipulating people for his own ends. He's a."
Well, that's what. But Gordon's in on it, right? So right, like Gordon would be in on it, and that's how you do the Riddler thing. And then you got to make it super intriguing. And then if you do it intriguing like that, then it doesn't seem like you don't feel that there's no action. You don't feel that there's no action. Because this movie, I was thinking like, wow, Batman hasn't really punched or done anything. He beat up those guys. I'm like, okay. Then you got the car chase. Car chase was okay.
Sure.
And then you got the fight at the end where he's fighting those multiple Riddler people. But it's just like, why is there multiple Riddler people? And Sean said this. It's like, didn't someone check and be like, look, his mask is this, his clothing is this. Well, we just sold 500 of these masks.
Right.
And
It's like, wait a second. Like, let's check. Like, wait, is that from is that from Party Store?
Yeah.
It's like go to every party store. How many people bought these masks? Oh, 500. And like they've got his website. They hacked his website. Like, what, can't Batman hack things anymore? So they hacked the website, and he's like, oh, he's got 500 followers who he's been literally giving directions to, right? Like, he's like saying, okay, get your masks, get your question mark on your shirt, go get your shotgun. It's like, trace these people, right? Like, I don't get it. Like, this isn't a mystery. He's not solving anything, and Riddler won at the end. I
figured that out. If they really wanted to cover up all that, they should have said, hey, we're having a St. Patrick's Day parade. So that would have covered up everything.
Or set it on a holiday. You know how they did it with Batman 89. It's like there's the Gotham parade or whatever. So anyway, Riddler looking like his name's Vengeance was the Easter egg to the future villain Bane.
I'll be honest.
I mean, we saw I thought it was Venom that he was.
I'll be honest with you. I feel like him saying that made Batman realize that he was no better than that guy. Yeah. And that's why he changed. Because if you think about it, he said that, and the shot went to Batman, and he's sort of like, again, he's staring, but he's sort of like, oh, like, what's that? When by saying your vengeance, that was his sort of, line to prompt him to say, no, I got to be more than vengeance.
Yeah, I understood. Yeah, look, Batman had an arc.
Yeah, he did.
He went through stuff. He had an arc.
Yeah,
and Sean made the ultimate super point. He's like, the arc that Batman has nothing to do with the mystery that we're solving.
That's right.
So you have to then sit there and be like, okay, is this a Batman arc or is this a Riddler story? If you want to have them both, then they have to connect to each other better than the way they did it. Yeah. Because it's like, why did Batman have an arc? Oh, because Riddler flooded everything. So Riddler wins in order for Batman to realize that he needs to be more than vengeance. But we should have written that in a better way because Riddler won. The Riddler won in the end. I don't understand. Why would they make the Riddler win?
Dark Knight, though?
Joker didn't win in Dark Knight because they didn't blow each other up. That was the point.
Yeah, no, but they lied in order to cover up Dent's murder.
Oh, right. I didn't like that in Dark Knight either.
Like that whole thing with Dent was wonky. Like they should not have had Dent in Dark Knight. I'm sorry. Like, or they shouldn't have had him turn into Two-Face in Dark Knight.
Right.
So early.
It was too early. I think it would have had more punch if you establish him as like this very valuable ally to Batman. Like, again, the long Halloween. Like, have him as this very valuable, essential ally to Batman, and then turn him. That would be a gut punch to Batman. That's why they did it. Right. But like by having him do that, it just got wonky and it threw off what you were trying to do with Joker. This is, again, too many sorcerers. Get rid of why do you need multiple villains? Just have one.
Yeah, and the thing is, the Dark Knight, that was really bad because the whole point of the Dark Knight was that, okay, he's this, Harvey Dent's this great guy. But then they're like, it's like, well, I have to tarnish Batman's legacy to make Harvey Dent look good. I'm like thinking, why do you have to do that? And how does tarnish? It's like, well, we'll pin it on Batman. No, just pin it on anyone. You guys can fake evidence. Like you can do whatever. If you're faking evidence to make Harvey look good, fake evidence to make someone else look bad. Just say it was the Joker. Like, pin it on the Joker. Say the Joker did all this crazy shit. And he'll just be like, oh, I don't care.
It would have made sense too because the entire thing was with Dark Knight is that Joker was like, nothing matters, everything's chaos, blah, blah, blah. If you show Batman has this concerted plan, that goes against, because the entire thing was, and he's like, everyone's just like me. And then, Zeus doesn't blow up the ferry. And it's like, oh, you've lost. And now I'm going to make you lose even further. You're going to take the blame for whatever Dent did.
Yeah, we're putting dense shit on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You will
I
never
don't know. Yeah,
see
that was wonky and dark.
outside Arkham Asylum, but they didn't want to do that, and I don't.
Yeah.
They wanted to set up the last film that he was all like, retired as Batman, and he's got a bum. He's got.
I don't like that at all. That was just so like
It's lame, man. It's lame.
That was lame. Just like his leg or was lame.
Damn, that's Christian Bale. Swear, like we could have had a Robin in those movies, but he's like, no, I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want it.
Yeah, I just tweeted that out to show because everyone was saying so what happened with that was I thought I'd be funny and tweet that out because everyone was like, this is a masterpiece. I was like, whoa. I was like, this ain't no masterpiece. I was like, you know what? Restore the Snyderverse. And then I actually people followed me because of that. I'm like, really? I'm like, no, I don't want this Snyderverse restored. But I thought it'd be funny. It's not going to be restored anyways. But I thought it'd be funny to tweet it out because everyone is on this hype train for this. I like to bring people down to I like to bring down people to gritty realism.
Yes,
it's like you think you're the great. You think this Batman movie is the greatest. Boosh, restore the Snyderverse, and it's like, yeah, come on, guys. Look, I'm gonna buy this movie. Just like I bought everything else, and I always complain. I complain about Justice League. I complain about BVS. I complain about Man of Steel, but I bought them all. It's like I got the toys. I got the Pattinson toy right there. It's like I'm gonna buy the vehicles. I'm gonna buy the Batmobile. I'm gonna, I had the bike in my hand. I had the bike in my hand. I was going to the register, and I thought, you know what? It's pretty expensive. Let me put the bike back, and I'll just keep the figure. But I will get the car. Look, I got the soundtrack right. And my phone, my background on my phone is the movie. So I like Batman. I like stuff.
Yeah.
Even Justice League, I beat that movie up. It's like, and I beat the crap out of it. It's like, okay, there's some fights, whatever. I can take good out of any superhero thing. But when someone's telling me that this movie's a masterpiece and this is the way Batman,
I don't know what a masterpiece is. They probably think that Avengers Endgame is like the height of cinema.
Well,
they probably think that too, which it's not.
The Dune movie is a masterpiece, and you're right.
Dune is not a masterpiece either.
Oh my god!
But if you want to know where I rank Pattinson, I was thinking of it while we were talking.
Yeah, so where's Pattinson rank in your Batmans?
For me, he's number 3. Michael Keaton Wall. It's going to be hard to displace him from number 1.
Mr. Mom.
I don't think he can do it. Affleck. I have to watch the movies again. That's why I'm not talking about BVS or Justice League or all that. In all fairness, I saw the movies once. I have to rewatch them to give my updated opinion. And
I need to watch the full. I need to watch the full BVS. I've only seen the theatrical one. I need to watch the full proper BVS.
But based on what we've been saying before, Affleck has one of the best comics costumes as Batman.
He looks the best.
Yeah,
Ben Affleck's face, he looks the best.
His jaw, everything.
He looks the best.
Screams Batman to me. So
yeah, he's the best looking.
Until I see Pattinson in something better, I'm going to put him. I'm putting ahead of Bale. He beat Bale for me in the.
I would say yes to that for sure. He definitely beat
Bale. Won't like that.
I mean, I hate the voice.
Adam West is kind of up there. Like he's got to be up there for me, but I'm trying to.
Adam West is the best Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
Adam West was the best Bruce Wayne.
He's clear. He's the only one that looks like a rich guy who looks like he's doing stuff. He's like, look, I'm a rich guy. I'm a playboy. Yeah. He was the only one. Michael Keaton did not look good in Bruce Wayne. He looked lost, right? Yeah. He was just like, oh, I'm Bruce Wayne, I guess. I don't know, like what? It's like. He just was not Bruce Wayne. It's like Ben Affleck is a better Bruce Wayne than Ben Affleck is a good Bruce Wayne. He looks like he's like a Bruce Wayne guy. Yeah. He looks like he's that guy.
Yeah.
Ben Affleck is
George Clooney though. Can we talk about George Clooney? He was a great Bruce Wayne.
Clooney wasn't.
He has the looks for right. George Clooney doesn't know what movie he was in. You're right, Steve. He doesn't know what's going on with that guy.
Yeah.
No, I'm always going to tell. I was going to say I always tell the truth. No, I do tell the truth because he's saying the Batman phrase. I like Batman in all forms. Yeah. I like all Batman stuff. I don't care. I'm just telling you, visually, when I saw BVS and I saw that first picture of Ben Affleck, I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
I was like, we're getting serious now. I'm like, this is Batman. He had the black with the gray. It was not weird gray. Like in this movie, it was kind of weird.
It was distinct.
It was distinct gray. It had a black big bat symbol from the Dark Knight Rises, which I know everyone overuses, but I like Dark Knight Rises. I mean, not Dark Knight Rises, Dark Knight Returns. Comic, Dark Miller. I'll just say Frank Miller. He looks like Frank Miller Batman. Frank Miller Batman is right there on the shelf. Okay, so I like Frank Miller Batman. I know it's overused. It is getting tiresome. Stop it. There's other Batman stories you could go to, but I do like that Batman, and he looks exactly like that. And when he's Bruce Wayne in Justice League, walking around talking to guys, I'm like, that looks like Bruce Wayne to me. He is the best Bruce Wayne and the best looking Batman.
Yeah.
I can't judge him because he didn't have his own movie. The problem is Batman versus Superman.
hard.
The whole movie, he's like, I gotta fight Superman. But Superman's my favorite character. So I don't want Batman to start off hating Superman. That's my real problem. Let's just be honest right now. My honesty is that
just all the guns. Just all the he just kills people. Like Snyder
is polarizing, yes.
Polarizing, yes. Yeah, the Batman versus Superman started out with Batman hating Superman, and he's like killing the guys and stuff. I'm like, ooh, like he looks good, and the fights were good. The fights in Justice League and Batman are good fights. Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna, because I could see everything clearly. Yep. Right. This is why I beat this movie up a little bit, because like Zack Snyder's interpretation of the characters, I don't like.
Right.
But I can visually see what's happening in the movie.
One thing that I find
there's like guys
he has a light. He had an extra light.
He had more light.
Something I've heard a lot of, and I disagree with it. And I find people who say this, like, I'd like to remind them of something. Zack Snyder uses slow motion a lot. People are always like, "Oh, the slow motion, blah blah blah."
Sometimes it's wonky, but sometimes it's cool.
Yeah,
John Woo,
Aquaman stuff.
Yeah,
John Woo always has slow motion, and he is considered, rightfully so, one of the best directors ever.
John Woo's the best. He's awesome.
He uses the same freaking technique.
Yeah, but that was Van Damme in slow motion and Hard Target. And the only way to watch Van Damme is in slow motion.
Well, I mean, that was Hard Target. I mean, not Hard Target.
Double Impact.
I love Double Impact.
No. Like I'm talking John Woo movies.
Oh,
Hard Target.
Face Off.
Face Off. His Hong Kong stuff.
Oh, right.
Oh, he uses all the slow motion. He uses the same techniques. Face Off is the killer. Face Off. Everything that happens in Face Off happened in the Killer. Right. Yeah. It happened in the Killer.
John Woo did a Mission Impossible.
Right.
Mission Impossible 2.
Yeah. Same thing.
He did it.
Yeah.
Like, here's the thing. No one complained about that when Zack Snyder. Oh, the goddamn slow motion. I'm like, did everyone complain when John Woo was doing it? Oh,
John Woo's a competent director.
Have you seen a John Woo movie?
Yeah, yeah. Look, we're not gonna. I can see what's happening. Dark doesn't actually mean you can't see what's going on.
Right.
Like dark just means it's happening at night. But like I could see. Like when you're watching Justice League, my wife was like, "Wow, the fights look pretty good." I was like, "The fights do look good, but Wonder Woman's a murderer, so I just don't like it for that reason." But like, it's like the characters for me, the interpretation of the characters is bad, but the visual look of Batman is fine.
It's just he has an air of Bruce Wayne. He has an air of Batman. Like you can buy it because of how he's selling it, and it's a little bit. It's good, but I did buy Pattinson as Batman himself. I didn't buy him as Bruce Wayne at all, but I did buy him as Batman. And I think he'll be when he was announced, people were, oh, I'm like the Twilight guy. I'm like, he's going to be a good Batman, and I was right.
And I like Twilight Part 3, Eclipse.
Yeah. Part 5 wasn't too bad.
Oh, 5 wasn't too bad, but there was like that big battle. But then they said that battle didn't happen.
Yeah, it didn't happen. That they killed that, right? Barf. But 4 and 2, especially 4 is
the worst. 4 is the worst movie ever made.
Unwatchable.
Part 2 is like probably the cheesiest garbage ever. It's Part terrible. 1 is like a regular teen movie where you can kind of laugh at it, and then Part 2 was actually bad.
Yeah, it's bad.
And you're like, oh, this is bad. Like you're laughing at how bad it actually is. But then Part 3, I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. I liked Part 3 legit. I like legit Part 3. They're fighting that chick.
Yeah, they brought in Bryce Dallas Howard as the villain, and like
she's that crazy red-haired chick or whatever.
She's always that crazy red-haired chick.
Well, I like her as a crazy redhead chick. But Breaking Dawn Part 1 or whatever it's called,
Breaking Wind Part 1, yes.
Yeah, Breaking Wind.
Yeah, that is an offensive movie.
Yeah, it's bad.
After watching that movie, you should feel very violated because you're like, I just wasted time on this garbage and nothing. I will explain to you the entire Part 4 of Twilight Part 4. She got pregnant. That's the whole. I swear to you, nothing happens. She's laying on the couch for the whole movie. I'm like, is this for real? What a cash grab! That was very offensive and like. Look, I don't like movies. There's movies I don't like. There's movies I do like, but they're trying, right? Like I don't like Last Jedi, but Rian Johnson tried to make a movie. They didn't even try to make a movie with Breaking Dawn Part 4. They're just like, we just want money.
It was laziness beyond belief. Like it was literal laziness. She was on the couch all movie long.
Yeah. All right, guys, that's gonna wrap it up. I gotta go. We will be back on Monday talking about some women of wrestling. Steve and I.
Monday.
And then I'm sorry, Tuesday.
Yeah.
Tuesday.
We have a lot of wrestling coming on tonight. We got AEW going on right now. We got Impact going.
I can't cover all those. There's just too many. It's just too many to watch.
Roller Club, bro.
Oh my god. And we don't get some. We don't have some of those in Canada. I don't think either. Might have. But yeah. So we'll be back on Tuesday, and then I'm going to do a stream with Sean about some comic stuff from the '90s. So I'll figure out when that's on. But that's it, guys. So I'm going on Clobby's channel in a few minutes to check out his Star Trek stuff. So if you're a Star Trek fan, check that stuff out. The link is in the description.
I'm going to start Picard tonight, the second season tonight.
So. I feel sorry for you, because Picard's one of the worst things of all time.
Okay, one quick. How was Seven now a lesbian when she got with Chakotay?
I don't know.
I'm
pretending those don't exist. I literally I know I beat up Zack Snyder all the time, but like the Picard stuff literally makes my blood boil.
Yeah.
I can't take it.
We don't even discuss it.
We don't even discuss it. It's just I can't discuss it. I like making fun of Zack Snyder. It's fun. But I can't even make fun of Picard. It's just like I just can't. It's rage. I can't. I'll lose my mind. Okay, guys. Thanks for everybody who tuned in. Take care.
Hey friends, you've just been listening to J-Man, and he is the smartest person who ever lived. So make sure you like and subscribe.